Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tear Off Your Skin. It's staring time. I hope you're all ready and
Airing
skinless
time.
out there. Yeah, yeah. I'm taking cue for Morbius with the morbing time. Yeah.
Oh,
So hello, people. Like, well, in chat, Sean, the GM makes sure that everybody is having fun. Everyone is having fun. We'll talk about that.
that's what I hear.
Obviously. Yeah, and Justin said it's lie. Hello, Squad Bench Deadlift. Clearly, the GM job is to cater to my every desire, the ultimate wish fulfilling, nurturing nanny. Yes, we all know that is what it is. Oh, was that warning always there? The warning is new. I felt like some people might need it, right? Even though, like, the fucking
Because I'm
title
on here.
of the stream is Tear Off Your Skin, right? Like, you should know what to expect, right? Yeah, and Shauna is there. How you been, man?
So far, so good. I thought today was Saturday, so I'm looking for stuff that usually comes on a Saturday.
Well, you gain a day, man. Can have a
Yeah, I
Saturday
don't.
tomorrow.
I lost a day.
No, because no, you lost a day when you think it's further in the future, no?
I
It
guess.
doesn't matter. Who cares? I should have put also in the title like that. There's gonna be wine in the warning. There's gonna be wine, so
Wine.
be warned. I know
Only
my fucking name
wine.
is my fucking name is Boivin. It literally mean drink wine. So what do you expect? So what is the role of the GM? Is he a world builder, a world weaver? Like, is he there to entertain the audience, this player? Is he there like to get in the skin of all the NPC and what is like? Or is he just a player, right? Like people talk about, and this was Phil topic. I was expecting Phil to join us, but like, sometimes he's a bit late. Right? Life got something right. Life gets in. He got children and stuff like that. So
He has a
I hope
time
he can
zone.
join. Yeah, yeah. So the GM, like, and in Black Lodge game yesterday, there was somebody I was in the comment there watching their show. Great show they always do, right? And somebody was talking about that in the comment as well, right? Or the GM, like, and they said like, well, people say like, oh, so the GM is the babysitter and need to herd the cat and need to be the host and stuff like that. And I said that's bullshit, man. If you're a GM, you need to be. I need to fucking fix the fucking autofocus for my camera. I'm too pale. Also the white balance. I'm not that white.
Well, there's black background, nothing to focus on.
Yeah, exactly. If I bring like a piece of white paper, like, you see, now I get like normal human human being color, almost like on my face.
If you're
Almost.
that color white, you're dead, right?
Exactly. For a
You're
little
just
while at
you're
least.
just bone.
Yeah. I don't know why they do that like this. How they, you know what would make the camera auto white balance? Oh, that's nice, but fucking like pull it down, pull it back a bit. The ghostly ginger man. Yeah, exactly. And hello Nicholas and hello Zonalar. No, you're not late. We're just starting right there. Yeah. So yeah, first of all, like if you're as a GM are there and you need to babysit your player, that's fucking find better player, find other people, right? That's the
But
first
what
thing.
if you've been playing with the same dudes for a decade? And Friday night is your normal routine. You go to this guy's house and you throw dice and
Oh, this wine needs some air. Sorry. the It's a bit rough.
but
The
the players just show up for routine. They're not
For
really
10
interested.
years, 10 years, like he's been like babysitting those guys. Like, say, oh, come on, guy, let's focus on the game now. Let's be serious tonight. Let's try to like for 10 years been doing that.
Yeah, for 10 years he's been telling his players that he wants to run a different game. But
Yeah,
they just want D&D.
yeah. Second
And
edition.
he wants to play some Shadowrun or something or Twilight 2000, something.
They've been the same campaign for 30 years. Now they play
Yeah.
all level 15. They started level 1.
And then he says, "How'd I do?" And they all say, "You're a great DM still after 10 years. You're the
Yeah.
best."
And every week he has to come up with a new plot point for the new railroad to put the GM on, the player on.
Yeah.
Is that what the role of the GM is? In
Yeah.
many game it is, right?
In his game,
Isn't it a bit sad?
it's the guy making a board game. And every week he has to draw more of the board.
Yeah,
for the pieces to land on.
yeah. And like Nicolas said, like that's why some people say like GMing is a job. Yeah, and like, oh, GMing can be so ungrateful, right? Just like, well, it shouldn't have to be. Like it's like, and oftentimes it is like the person that is more into the game that's gonna take the mental of GM, right? Because like, oh, you have all this extra work to do and stuff like that, right? And you have to, like, well, maybe you're doing it wrong then.
What if the GM wants a break and has one of the players make it a session about his character? So the spotlight is on his character the entire session.
Well, if the GM is role playing all the character on the table anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change. It doesn't change anything. No.
He's like, I'm tired of role playing all your player characters. One of you guys gets to be in the spotlight for tonight, and tell me what your character does for a change.
Yeah.
Does that ever happen? Probably not.
But also, like, you've been doing you were doing like this commentary on a video by somebody about like a GMAI, right?
Yeah.
And you say like, well, the AI ChatGPT can basically do like what most does, right? What most GM do.
It knows what Reddit knows. It knows what D&D's website knows, D&D Beyond. And it
Mhm.
knows what you tell it in addition to. Or deprogram it. You can deprogram the AI, right? And give it your own set of
Yes.
commands.
Yes. And I told you
And,
about that. Like I tried that
and
a
that's
bit.
what you did.
Yeah. I try to at some point. I'll probably make a video about it this week or something like that. I try like to teach ChatGPT to role play in 3D and 4D. I explained to it the rules, right? And just like as them like, and give me a role play example. So I wasn't like role playing with it. I just say like, give me a like a few line of text that is a role play example, like you would see in a book.
Yeah, like you see in a book.
Yeah. And then he gave me some, and it was like some basic shit, and say, okay, here now, do the role play in this way. And I said, okay, the player don't ask question to the GM. The player stay in character. Every turn, the player say where they are, what what their character does, and what the character says. The GM don't reiterate what the player just described, right? So I gave it like the rules that we usually
Yeah.
use for role play, and then he
Yeah.
fucking got it.
You taught an AI how to role play.
Yes.
How come people can't learn how to role play? So bizarre.
Well,
Maybe its ego gets in the way.
there's part of that because like they've been doing it for a long time, so they don't want to say like, well, you know what, I've been doing that for like 30 years, so I know what I'm doing, right? And like that's something we see in every fucking field.
The AI doesn't have habits. It just has a default. And
Yeah.
you can change the default to something else.
Yeah. And also like, you know, we are very focused on role play in our groups, right? That's what we're here at the table for. We're playing role
That's
playing
an
game. You know what?
understatement.
Yes. So, but a lot of people, that's not what they are. They are for, right? We, you know, that's why we have the smaller. Some people are there for the social experience. Some people are there for the miniature combat. Some people are there for different thing. Hey there, Phil. How you been?
Ew.
You know the
Make
show
your-
started at 10 past.
Make your background black so we all blend in.
Yeah. Wheel.
Okay.
You have to rip off your extra skin there.
Tear off your background.
I don't think I have a black one.
You have to put like a black image.
Just say none. I don't know.
But then it'll just show my house.
No, none is remove, I mean. Is there just a remove background?
Yes.
Remove house. Go
I'll find a
outside.
black page for you guys. I'm on it.
Yes.
Yeah, 16 by 9 black image. Boom. Not too
Boom.
bright. Not too bright, just regular bright.
Yeah.
I'm doing it too bright.
You don't want to be too showy.
Brightest black.
Just then say hopefully the default is in bright pink. When I was working in video game, I would always make the default color for missing texture fuchsia. So when there was a missing texture, we'd like spot it right away. You wouldn't blend anything, right?
That's a good color to use.
Yeah. People say like, why you always make everything, or I make like a mesh bright pink. I say, well, it doesn't blend with anything. Then you spot it right away. So it's aggressive for the eyes. So that's the fucking point.
Otherwise, you end up with dark gray,
There we go.
Yeah.
a shiny
exactly.
dark gray.
Yeah,
It's
and then like,
hard to see.
is she wearing a gray shirt? No, she's missing a texture.
Yeah.
Make it like fucking bright fuchsia.
Something bright,
works good.
something that's not doesn't occur in nature.
Yeah, or is very rare, right?
Yeah.
You guys can really see my bookshelf now.
I barely see it. It looked ominous.
Oh, you need brighter light. No contrast. You're good. You're good. You're good. Just hold your head there. We're not going to read your books.
Phil, that was kind of your topic. Like, you want to talk about the I think you said like the goals of the GM, and then like I misunderstood it. I said, oh, the role of the GM. I said, yeah, let's do both.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about the goals of GM, as in like we talk a lot about like 4D. In my opinion, is sort of a reaction to dissatisfied players. Because they don't like their players controlled code.
Yeah.
How you doing? And but it's like, what does a GM get out of, or what does a GM want out of GMing? Because a player wants that immersive experience. They want to be able to put on the VR goggles and go into a world and do stuff. But what is the juice for the GM?
The GM has
GM juice.
A cool idea for a setting.
Yeah, they want to tell a story.
No, they just well, most do, but not me. I want to.
Well, I'm talking about 4D GMs. What's the goal? What do you want?
I want to tell a 4D story.
Dance.
Well, that's something I talk quite a bit
about. You want to role play? Okay, for me, the GM is just another player, just another role player at the table, and they have NPCs that they would think are interesting to role play in their cool setting they just came up with.
Yeah, I agree. Like, the GM is a player at the table. I wouldn't say it's just another player, because he does have a different role, right? You don't control one character; you control like all the NPC, and you do the narration, stuff like that. But for me, like, I am playing a game. That's why I like the no prep so much, or as little prep as possible, right? Just like, because like, for me, that's entertaining, and it's rewarding to react to what the player does, and like feeding, like, and keep the flow going, and interject when it comes and stuff like that, right? I'm playing a game as well, and I don't know why it's different. Like, when I say, like, when you're a player, you want, like, the reward you get is from getting into the mindset and experiencing the world through the eyes of your character, and having this emotional alignment, right, with your character. For me, that's a big part of the reward. Like, you felt like you were there. That's great. You don't.
So it's much more of a gamey thing for the GM, right? As opposed to role playing.
Well, I guess there's also a reward by seeing your player experience that, right? If you manage them to, like, fulfill this, that's kind of weird. I never thought about it in this sense.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to talk about it with you, because you're the only one that's ever articulated that you like the game for the GM. You like the riffing that comes with improvising a world around the actions of a player.
Yes, but it's like, it's satisfying when you, like, manage to maintain a semblance of a believable world, like verisimilitude of vraisemblance, right? That's satisfying as well, right? You manage to get into the, like, you swap from one character to the other, but like, you make them act as they were real people.
Yeah, but do you really get immersed in your NPCs?
I do.
A little bit, right? Yeah,
a little bit.
As much as a player character? Would you say?
No, because I have a lot to manage. Sometimes you have more than one NPC, then you have the world, and then you have to do the narration, stuff like that. So for me, like, I cannot get him. I don't have the luxury to get immersed as much as a.
Yeah, shut my door.
I know what's ahead. I know what's ahead up the road. The players don't.
Yeah, just across the crest of the hill. No, not like 2 kilometers ahead. Like, that's too far ahead, right?
He's got that light on his headphone. What is that light for?
It's my muted mic.
Oh.
Okay. So we couldn't hear you dance.
No, you couldn't hear my dancing. It's very loud.
It looks like a laser shooting at us or something. Anyway, but yeah,
Reading your thoughts. It helps me be a GM.
the GM
Prep.
has more information than the players do, so
Yeah.
you can get high off of that, knowing.
I wonder if there's a little bit
knowledge.
of like. So the way I explained it to Crispy when we were just like thinking about it is like you kind of are the camera view of the show that's happening. So it's like you're
Yes.
manipulating everything, but at the same time you're creating the whole show, sort of. 50%, right, Shauner?
Yeah.
I do 50%
Yeah.
world creation. The players do 10%
Split up the
each.
rest. Yeah,
Yeah.
they split up the rest.
If they do 50% each, I'm in trouble.
That's a lot of percent.
It's like, why am I
I'm okay,
here?
I'm okay with the player doing more, right? But like it's also
Yeah.
like
They're also driving everything. So
But
when was
it's-
that we're talking about that? We're talking about that on Rick's stream. When was that? On Monday, Shauner? Like about the
Yeah.
like,
I
like
think-
Rick,
I
Rick
think
asked
so.
me like what percentage do you
Monday.
like the player to create? I said, well, that's hard to say because like everything is kind of like everything. I create something, they're gonna add some detail to it. So like and sometimes important detail, and then I add another layer to it. So like everything kind of become like
Yeah.
mixed up. It's hard like to make it like, oh, I created this thing, right? No, you added an element to that thing, and somebody else added an element to that thing, and I added an element to that thing. So at some point,
I'm used to the players adding stuff during session 0 when we're just kind of thinking up what the setting's going to be.
Yeah.
And then during the game, the players add little things like, oh, I forgot my Bic pen.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. I'm going to need keys for this car I just won at a game show. That kind of thing.
Yeah, but the Bic pen hasn't been invented yet. That's a joke for Justin.
In the 70s, they were kind of a big deal.
Yeah. But
I'm still a fan.
Erasable ink back in the day.
Papermate. But
I used to be a Pentel guy. Now I'm a Papermate guy.
Yeah. I'm a Stedler.
What brand whores you guys are. I take Great Value brand.
Oh, really?
You would. No, their trail mix is excellent.
You need to treat yourself sometime.
I steal the one at the hotel, and that works for a while.
Yeah.
Walmart has good pens. Their employees, when you sign something at service counter, using one of the Walmart
That's what I always say
pens,
when I sign something, like, this is nice.
Like, this is
nice.
Like,
thanks. And then I'm like,
and you're like trying to put in your pocket.
They're just
and then the rope or chain pulls it back out of your pocket.
Yeah. And then you trip and fall and see them. Like, how negligent of you.
So the goal of the GM, right?
Where's the sign?
The sign? Oh,
yeah, the don't steal my pen sign.
Don't steal my pen. Yeah. Don't steal my pens.
Well, usually it's got like a flower attached to the end of the pen to let you know that's theirs. It goes in the vase.
Well, I'm well aware of whose it is. That's not the problem.
Yeah. Oh,
I touched it
mine.
last. It's
I thought it was mine. I thought it was like free.
I don't see your name on it.
That is my flower, sir. Yeah.
I just spent $20 in your store. I'm keeping the pen.
So I guess that kind of goes into like the role of a GM too. Then,
yeah,
right? They're kind of mixed.
Well,
doing your role well is what mastering the craft is all about, right?
Well, Phil, when you're excited about GMing a game, what's the most excitement you're thinking of day to day until you run the game?
I'm just like sweating in my bed, just like don't focus me. Don't focus.
You got the ceiling fan turned on. It's the tropics. You got malaria.
Like talking about like a
flashbacks.
Black Lodge game. I would have loved for you to join, obviously, but because that's something maybe like what could shed some light on the goal and the role of the GM is thinking about how we prep for the game. Like like you say, like you're gonna do a game setup, right? You're a few days like your next game, like then you're gonna run is gonna be on Monday. Like what do you think about? Like what are you What are you getting ready for?
So it's much more of a like you have there is a plot. Typically, you got a premise or a plot or something. Like almost always, I got some crazy shit that's gonna go down, right?
Like an act, like a 3-part act kind of a thing. The
No, I mean like
climax. And
there is a wizard, evil wizard lord who is collecting the fragments
so a
of
hook. You have
the
a hook.
demon crystal,
Yeah. So
and
Inuyasha.
he's floating around, and they're like, "What are you doing here, you minion of demon crystal collector? Like, just collecting some demon crystals. Move along. Like, we're gonna stop you." So that's kind of something that happens, right? People typically
If
have
you say
something
like,
like that.
I don't want to interrupt. Sorry, sir.
Yeah, sorry,
Please
sir.
go on.
Sorry, sir. I'm much more interested in sort of a trader game.
Yeah, exactly.
But then, like, it's
If
all
we
about,
come
oh, I'm gonna
across some demon
unveil.
crystal, we'll let you know, sir. Do you have a calling card?
But that's kind of cool too, right? So you have like this. It's kind of like you have this force of
Sierra
nature
Madre.
mechanic that's going on.
You just made it up on the spot, right? And just just roll up with the punch.
So like, is the juice when I'm like slowly revealing what happens, what's happening behind the scenes, or the thing that's happening behind the scenes reacting to the actions of the players, like doing these little
So is
figuring
your
out how it affects every little thing they do. Is that my
is your
juice?
Phil, is your big bad a plot device or a character device? Like it's just an NPC doing his schedule, his routine.
Well, I'm playing a role-playing game, so it's like,
Well,
I
Oh,
don't need a
excuse me.
plot device. Right?
Oh, what are those things? Okay.
You're talking like a movie or a story or something, right?
But do you like
The
when
story
you
comes after.
when you like, like when you like insert a big bad guy in your game, do you have this foretold vision of this is how it's going to end my session?
No, can't do that.
Or do you or do the players just next skip when they hear about this bad guy up in the mountains?
No,
doing
in my
things?
head, I'm like, how are you guys going to die horribly? Let's see how it all.
Are you're not quantum physicking the guy into
I'm
the
not
alleys?
quantum ogring.
Every manhole cover he's underneath
yeah, I
one.
mean, I'm not. Yeah,
You do that for real?
I
the Quantum
mean,
Ogre?
I'm not doing it. I am pushing it.
Consciously?
Yeah,
It's
no,
my
but
push.
that's the thing. Like, there's a difference
How do
between
you
the Quantum
push?
Ogre. Quantum Ogre thing imply that you don't basically you're taking away player agency because they decide to go path A instead of path B. Say, I'm just gonna move what was on path B to path A, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
Just like
So
I
your
try to
path-
preemptively.
Good.
Okay, is it a quantum
choice
ogre
becomes
if they
meaningless.
don't know there's an ogre?
Well, yes. Usually they don't know.
Schrodinger's ogre.
Yeah, exactly. The Schrodinger Quantum Ogre.
Yeah.
But
They didn't know there was an ogre in the game, but it's going to be in front of them no matter where they go.
Until they check.
But that's the thing. Like you, like at some point, like if you have like some conflict in the world, you have somebody like doing bad stuff, right? That's always a matter of opinion nowadays. If you have somebody like doing bad stuff, like at some point you want his path and the player path to cross, right? So you're gonna have like, otherwise, like, well, where's this, nothing's gonna happen, right? You can just have like, you cannot just have a game like, well, you're living your life and everything is going fine and nothing ever happened, and nothing ever bad ever happened, right? At some point you need to have like some initiating event.
In the werewolf game that we played, all basically it's just a theme to the pushes.
Yeah.
So like every time the action slows down, I'm like, okay, guess what? One of those minions is looking for that demon crystal. You see him over there, or he's watching you. Like, who's watching me? It's a demon minion. He thinks you might have a demon crystal.
Because that's the thing, you have the bad guy that wants something, and somehow the PC are going to be in the way.
Yeah.
Or just in its path. They might not try to actively oppose the bad guy yet, but they're in the way, right? They're just like, so at some point, if like the player are not pushing the plot, well, the bad guy are still doing stuff. So you know what? And then that's gonna come into conflict.
So Max, when you make an NPC, do you assume they're going to be a bad guy and the players are always going to be the good guys? So you want that kind of a fight at some point, good versus evil? The
No, and
players are always the good guys.
something
Your
at some
guy's
point,
the bad guy.
at some point notice in our game as well. Like we oftentimes play kind of bad guys, right? We oftentimes like I don't know why we're just drawn to that, but we haven't done.
It's
Hmm?
Do
easier
you
to
ever?
have like your own motivation right
Yeah,
off
I guess like
right off
the
rip.
maybe the Rising Sun game is the first game that we're clearly like a little more good guy, right?
I'm trying to assert
I
my
guess we're good
kingdom,
guy.
but sure.
Do you ever have quantum players in your game?
A quantum player?
The floating
Where
head.
you move the player characters
No.
Yeah.
To the next scene, yeah, no.
in front of your NPC that you want to fight.
And oftentimes, like conflict doesn't like I don't necessarily do games, and I often do like games that are like more. I don't do like those big epic usually. So oftentimes games
You
like
don't have a boss fight.
I don't have a boss fight, and it's not like oh you need to save the world from the lich.
Yeah.
That is gonna. That's not my jam. That's not. Like, sometimes I do that, especially like if we've been playing a campaign and like okay now I want to wrap up. Let's just like crank everything to 11 and go a bit silly and stuff like that. Right? Just,
Yeah,
like,
I don't do boss fights.
yeah, but it's not my jam. Like I'm gonna have like people opposing, but like my favorite bad guy or people, right? It's just like, and they're not necessarily bad. They just want something different.
Yeah, they
And
conflict
just,
is all.
exactly.
Okay, so Shauner, it seems like you're against the quantum ogre. Is that fair to say?
You are a true believer.
So if you don't prep, then you can't know what's behind either corner. So how do you not quantum ogre? Like, because you don't know who the ogre is either.
I'm prepping during the game,
Okay.
listening to the players describe their actions, where they're going. So I'm just calmly sitting there.
So like they're at a fork in the road, and you're like, I know it's down that one, and I know it's down that one. Let's see what they pick.
It's like,
yeah. Well,
it's
in
like
your head, you're doing that.
in my head, like, I'm in my head, I'm thinking, there's a fork. Yeah. Which one's the lesser of two evils to go
Why
down?
Why did I make an intersection of 6 paths?
well, it's
Now I'll do 1.5. I do 1.5 creation where I'm thinking, well, I'll make this path easy one, and I start filling in the blanks. What's up ahead?
But it's also like there should be like a meaningful choice in the fork, right? Or do we time?
There always is.
Do we want to take the road in the through the wood?
Now these
might
aren't
be a little shorter. We're gonna get to Grandma's house faster.
Yeah,
but my mother told me to stay on the path.
So you
right?
preload the consequence.
It might not be a physical. Yeah. This might not be a physical fork. It might be just logical fork. Like the players rolled badly, so now they have to take the high road or the low road to get to where they were going. They have to climb a wall instead of take a ladder. You know, who knows? Okay. It's going to take them longer to get to where they wanted to be. So that would be a fork.
Smart. That's
the easy route, the hard route, or this. You're going to take the easy. When the NPC says, "Oh, you're going to take the easy way or the hard way?" That's basically the difficulty levels. They can roll for it, or they can just choose which one. If they choose the hard way, it's just going to be the hard way.
Shauner, do you typically choose the hard way?
I do.
This is a common theme.
I do. Yeah. I don't. Nothing's easy.
That's what makes you heroic. That's what makes a character a hero, right? It's just like you don't want to be you want to do what's right. You don't want to do what's easy and convenient, right?
The easy bake oven is actually set on hard.
Yeah.
Just don't say you guys have internalized me in your own life. You should probably talk to somebody about that. I talked to my priest about that. So does that count? I guess. Yeah.
No.
So what are you sucking down, Phil? Some sort of.
I have 3 beverages.
Liquid.
No. So ready for all situation.
A plethora.
Water. This is my water. It's the water cup, and then I got my green tea here, and this was my daily creatine that I was drinking.
I was gonna say fire water, but no.
No. I got
No, I'm not drinking the booze.
So Phil, when you laid in bed with cold sweats or whatever?
Hot and cold sweats.
Hot and cold, your liver's just not working. So body temperatures, all that kind of stuff, moisture. Yeah. You're retaining water.
It's a very moist experience.
When's the part where you're like,
I have
let's do this?
I have like an old shaggy bathrobe on and my slippers, like my sandals.
Don't you?
It's
You
kind of
smoke?
like no.
You don't have like ashtrays full of
Well,
cigarettes?
wait a second. Am I GMing? No, I don't.
You gymming, you smoke.
Some GMs have to smoke. They have to take a long smoke break before they start a game.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
smoking
It
ones.
cools them down.
Yeah, I do the Minesweeper for the
I
same
don't know
purpose.
many people that casually smoke.
No?
Everyone's just like a smoker or not a smoker.
I know
Crispy.
people that I don't go to someone's
Hey,
house if they
Crispy
smoke.
might or
indoor.
might not join. Like
Well,
this
He's,
reward is
he's
like doing
role
some stuff.
playing as a wheel.
Yeah. Can you
Smart.
hear us? Hey, hello.
You
Hi.
might be muted. No, you're good.
It took a while for it to load. I hope I
Yeah.
was just sitting there, floating
You were.
head, staring
No.
into the camera.
You were a spinning wheel.
No, you're spinning wheel.
It hadn't loaded your hair yet. It was really weird. Just like,
Takes
He has a lot of
to load this hair.
extensions.
It takes a lot to load it.
Let's go, Crispy.
It's going great. How are you doing, Phil?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you.
Fantastic.
I was about
Fantastic.
to ask, just like being a good host of the stream.
We're
Could help
talking
us.
about what the goal of the GM is.
Yeah.
And what has been said so far? I'm sorry I'm late. I meant to get on.
Said
this
that
right at 6:00.
Basically
people-
solved it.
You
well,
solved it?
there's
No.
no-
We're
actually,
still
we
on
didn't,
it.
because, like, we talk about all like when you're a player in the 40 game, right?
We've determined I'm against quantum ogres.
Yeah, we determined
Yeah.
that.
That's
We talk about like when you're a player in a 40 game, your goal is to be
Immersion.
immersed, be in
Yeah.
character, embody the
Submerged.
character, have your emotional alignment with the character, and all that
Mhm.
jazz, right?
Mhm.
But when you're the GM, you can go as far as that because you're gonna have to switch character a lot. Then you have to control the world, do the narration, stuff like that. So you have like a lot of distractions. So what is the what is the goal? Why do we do that thing? Like you more than I.
Yeah, why do
It's
you
a
want to be the GM?
reactive. It's a reactive situation. So I feel like in a proactive character, like you're not waiting for the world to get you. If you're cool, if you're a good person, right? But as a reactive player,
GM, a reactive.
then the juice has to come from the reaction, not the drag.
So what do you get from being a GM? What is say like, what, I want a GM because like that's what's driving me for it, right?
For me, it's I have a cool setting I want to try out
Oh yeah,
as an experiment, or try a different way of role playing as an experiment.
Crispy's
interesting.
downloading his answer, right?
No, I'm just making some notes. Sorry.
Okay.
You can hear me writing? I'm sorry about that.
Oh, is that a
Maybe
big pen? We're just
Yeah.
talking about those.
Does anyone still use these? I've got one right in my head. Yeah, no, I'm just trying. I'm trying something new, Phil. I'm trying to make some notes so that I'm not
Smart.
wasting people's time. And
Smart.
Wasting people's time. That's what we are for.
I'll take notes too.
so, but Sean, you were saying setting. You
Yeah. Or experimentation.
Yeah, usually whoever came up with the cool setting is the one that gets to run the game.
What if
Players,
you
the
co-create?
players just
setting?
make
Yeah.
characters.
Session
Yeah,
zero
if we
is
co-create the setting. Well, then somebody just like
Well, then you fight
gotta do
over
it.
who gets to GM it,
It's
Well-
a battle royale.
because you run a microscope and you play that RPG and make
So
your
you
gotta think about
universe.
this,
So if we try, because I want to try this microscope thing, who
Yeah.
would play it or who would game master it? I mean, like we
I
all.
still don't really know what it is.
It's a shared thing. Everyone gets a turn adding to the universe, and then you do zoom ins and you do role plays in certain eras.
And
timelines.
depending on, you would just do role play, like, so you'd have multiple game masters like we do. We try to pass the baton between the 4 or 5 of us, whoever. But we'd still be in the same setting. We would just be everyone take their own little, like it would
Like
be
domain,
in
it's like
essence,
domain.
being-
You're doing domain play, but you don't know the beginning or the end of the timeline.
okay.
You don't
Oh,
know
there
the
you
worlds, the countries, the
I
races.
like what SBD said there. I don't know if I would ever come up with an entire setting of my own. I don't think you should.
I've
That's
tried.
Well-
terrible.
Didn't
But
work.
when 2 of the players in Microscope are asking each other, well, okay, so we have this kingdom in the 50th era. what's that kingdom look like? And the two players describe what the kingdom looks like,
Yeah.
what the who lives there, what's the laws, what's the weather like.
What
And if you zoom in enough on it, you can have the players actually role play a scene together where some king is being assassinated by his son or something like that. Get down to the nitty gritty, down to the actual confession note that the son wrote
With
when he's
ear
in
poison.
prison. And then you zoom out and it's okay, well, okay, so the king's dead. Now what happens to the kingdom after the king is dead and the son's in prison? And you go 50 years future and you start describing the world again, and then you zoom in some more. And okay, so and you can do a galactic span. You can do it
It's
just
a method of world building.
Yes. Well, it's
you're
a systematized method of like
it's lore. You're building lore.
But it's not too different than what we've been doing. It's like a little more systematized, right? But it's basically what we're doing in our session 0. We're creating like, oh, who are those people? What do they want? Like, what is the world? What is the setting? What is the conflict, right? We do
You
that
could
in
do
session 0
you could do Earth. You do Earth in caveman times or dinosaur times, or the comet hits, and then what happens next? And then let's forward 1 million years. Let's forward 2 million years. Let's go 1 billion years. What does Earth look
That's
like?
quite the time
Numenera. Numenera.
Yes.
Numenera.
So 4
Numenera has
billion
lots
year
of time.
pass.
Yeah.
Numenera is 1 billion years in the future.
It's like a billion years later, and you're like, man, remember that comet? Like 1 billion years
Worlds
ago?
without number is actually the same thing.
We just stayed there the old time. Well, I guess it's time to build a shelter.
Okay, remember the time machine? 1960s? The guy gets in the chair, he goes zooming through the future, and he sees the Morlocks evolving and stuff like that, and the buildings appearing out of nowhere, and he's like 30,000 years in the future, something like that.
Yeah.
Some crazy number. And he can slow down, reverse, stop, look around, get back in, travel some more. That's what Microscope does.
No, the machine get destroyed, no? When you arrive. You cannot go back in the time machine, can you?
Oh, he goes back.
Yeah, he goes back.
He goes back. I forgot.
He goes back. The Morlocks steal it, so he has to move it back to where it was.
That's the plot. Yeah, you arrive there, and then like something happened that he cannot go back right away. So he
has like that. Never mind. What's the name of that Christmas movie where the guy sees what happens if he dies? It's a Wonderful Life.
Wonderful Life.
He has like he kind of has a It's a Wonderful Life moment when he gets back. He's like, "Oh, it's so good to see you."
Yeah, I'm thinking of the Futurama episode when they have like a time machine that can only go forward. I love the song that's in the episode. That is a pastiche of the In the Year 2525.
Yeah.
If man is still alive. There you go. That's enough singing for one stream.
Oh, there's never enough singing.
You always end the singing when you sing.
Yeah. Oh, you want to? Sorry, it was enough singing for me. I don't want to stop you from singing.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, Max is running the game. Yeah. Oh, there's gonna be singing.
Oh yeah, just wait until the cat game.
It's a musical.
Cat game.
The cat's game. Or we all play like Jellicle Cat. Yeah, musical RPG win. Exactly.
Shoot me now. Shoot me now.
I'll do it.
Where's the airlock?
Oh yeah, it was enough for me. The like yeah, that's a good point you're making. Like, oh, if I have a cool setting, I want to explore. Like for me, it's not about cool setting because I don't believe in cool setting. I think setting sucks. I'm not a setting guy.
You're not a setting guy.
I think your setting should be mundane so the player can make assumption about the setting, right? Don't make your setting like weird and original and stuff like that because the setting is not the start of the show. The character are the start of the show, right? So you keep the setting like something like simple enough. Like if you can resume your setting like as, oh, it's like X but Y. For me, that's good enough, right? You don't need to go fucking wild and stuff like that. But what's interesting for me, if I have a cool conflict to explore, I like to have a conflict in my world. My world is gonna be simple, but something is happening, right? Oh, there's this war brewing up, or there's this the
setting is happening.
It's kind of the setting, but it's like, the setting is like, it's gonna be like it's medieval time in Europe and stuff like that, something we're familiar with. So I don't have to lore dump you, and I don't have to say like, well, actually in that setting, the waterfall goes up, right? And something stupid like that just to be original. Yeah. Get all of that out of the way, but something's happening, right?
You have to like in Discord send a PDF to your players to read or something, or look at some pictures.
You can say like you see something like, oh, we're 20 years in the future. So that's close enough that people can imagine what it looked like. And it's been 10 years since no live birth has happened.
Yeah, all the water on Earth floats up.
all the water on, for some reason, now all the water on Earth goes backward.
I read a book. You probably read this book. There was a science fiction book. Well, it's probably 20 years ago now. But what it was a gravity, instead of pulling down, pulled sideways.
Yeah.
So that would hurt. That would suck.
So it's far future, but now those that survive are living essentially on a wall. Like the whole planet is a wall.
Was that like a sudden change, or?
Yeah, it was a sudden change that happened.
Because you just mean like you put all your floor at 90 degrees, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Then,
so if you're like in your room right now, your whatever, like, so your side walls would be your floor and ceiling.
Yeah.
But most buildings would just fall over because their engineering isn't designed that way.
Oh yeah, it's true. We would need to put some brace.
Yeah. But it's that premise, right? So it's
what happens if you fall?
You're just hanging. You're just hanging from the ground.
You fall forever.
You fall on something. You fall around the Earth.
You fall around the Earth. In fact, that happens in the book. Somebody falls, and it's funny because some animals that have survived, like goats, they're always complaining about the goats because the goats are constantly walking off the edge because they just can't. They're just not. People have figured it out. So there's
always flying goats that you have to.
So they're falling, and then they fall, and they'll just fall until eventually they hit something, or you just fall and fall and fall, and eventually you wind up at one of the poles, where at the poles gravity is pulling more towards the ground, right? But
I see.
Anyway, it was an interesting premise. I just made me think of it when Sean said, "Oh, so like everything it's like this world except water flows against gravity." So
anyway. But then you can just, if you can resume it in one sentence like that, for me that's good enough, right?
Yeah.
Now we can work, and now like you can make, like, the player can make assumption about the world, and we can run with it. If I put like the resolution of the world of the setting to high, right, then it kind of crystallized thing. And then I'm going to be tempted to correct the player or try to do lordom and stuff like that. I don't want that. Like, I want the player to be able to, because their character are from that world, so they would know something about that world. And this is always a big problem between like player knowledge and character knowledge, right? If you keep things simple, you simplify that problem a lot.
Is it windy all the time, or is it like?
Well, one thing that's different book.
This is why this setting would suck as a role-playing game, is it'd be like, what happens when this, and then like if you mess it up.
What's interesting is that
the rain.
Because what happened to all the water? Well, the water's in the atmosphere.
Water. Yeah.
So it's way more humid. Like they just collect the water from the dew every morning because there's so much in the atmosphere.
See how complex this setting just got.
Yeah.
But you just that one change.
Sci-fi.
Yeah. It's sci-fi.
It's not hard. Yeah. Is that a hard sci-fi?
He tried to make it. The author tried to make it hard
just a
sci-fi.
Thought experience.
He actually had as an appendix at the end of the novel, all of the physics calculations to try to figure out what would happen if gravity pulled, instead of pulling towards the center of mass, it went on a tangent or perpendicular to the center of mass, and they had all these calculations. I didn't read that part. To me, it was like, it was all
hard
right.
Sci-fi. Hard sci-fi just means that you wear a spacesuit.
Yeah.
If there's no spacesuits in your setting, then you're Star Wars.
Yeah.
They wear those little masks when they're on
Boba Fett has a mask. Yeah, respirators and stuff.
Yeah.
There's moments of hard sci-fi in Star Wars.
I'm gonna try to find it.
Yeah. So Crispy, you're ready to share your goal?
Have you fully downloaded yet?
Yeah.
Are you ready
Sorry, Phil.
He has it prepared.
Not as good off the cuff as you are. There's three things I thought of. What I get from being a game master. The first one is, I enjoy the challenge. Yeah. I find it much more challenging to be the game master than to be a player. Being a player, that's not to say playing a character isn't a challenge. It's a challenge in its own right, and you're trying to go instead of just going a couple inches deep, but spread out over many characters. You're trying to go really deep, profound in one. So I think I like that's the first thing. I love the challenge. For me, the challenge that I like most about it is about being a game master is that I have to switch very quickly from role playing one NPC to role playing another NPC to being the camera to reacting to what players are doing. And I love that challenge because I find it so hard to do. You've got to go from perspective of, you know, this NPC with their goals and what they're trying to do and their complications. And a lot of this has to be improvised because of how we play.
Yep.
There's no script. There's very little pathing that's involved. You know what I mean? Like where I can anticipate that you're going to do this, and then you're going to do this, and then you're going to do that. And if we go by the module, then when they get to room whatever, then I have this ready.
Yeah.
It's much more off the cuff. And I like that. And so it's very excellent role play.
Sounds quantum ogre to me, Shauner. What do you think?
No, I agree. I agree totally.
Oh, now you
Crispy.
agree totally.
It's challenging. It's challenging.
It's a big challenge. And
but
for those of us that are trying to be better role players, it's great practice because I actually think that Phil does this really well, and Max, in the game you ran, you did this well. There was a distinct difference in how Phil would play his NPCs. In every game that Phil has run, there's always this distinct difference between them, and I'm trying to get better at that. So that's number one. That's not. There's a couple other things I thought of what I
call
get
that
from being a game
archetype.
master. Yeah.
Yeah,
well, I know that's what you're doing, but I try the same thing, Phil. I try, but I don't know. I feel like it's
before you go on
more heavy
point
lift
Blicker,
for me.
before you go on point two, Crispy, I just want to say the Blicker later on we're gonna sing like Bohemian Rhapsody. We're gonna try to recreate
Bohemian Rhapsody.
the video clip. Was it when they're doing like all dressed in black in the black background?
Oh yeah.
So
But,
I like the challenge. The challenge.
Yeah,
is
and that's something I often talked about, Crispy. Like when I say like I like going on in a game with no prep, basically, because I like the riffing part, right? I like reacting to the player.
Too.
Like for me that and Phil was saying, well, that's kind of like the gamist side of you, right? Because you're not like it's not the immersion. You just like the challenge of like having to come up with stuff and I say, yeah, kind of, yeah, I do like that.
That's fair. Yeah,
maintaining like a believable world.
Mm-hmm.
While just like putting stuff out of my ass, right?
Well, and my goal is that improvisation that the players don't know is improvisation, right? Like, because there's sometimes where people are like, "Oh, you're obviously just throwing us a curveball here," but I like it to be so seamless that it's like, wow, I can't believe that you could anticipate that we were going to do that. And then the truth of it is, I haven't anticipated anything. I'm just reacting in the moment. But I'm doing so in a believable way that no one is brought out of the their mindscape. Like I haven't shocked anyone into. Wait a second, I got to take a step back here and just take a look again at what's going on.
And that's definitely a skill that is developed. And I often say like the GM shouldn't do most of the talking during a session. The GM should like. A big skill that you need to learn as GM is to fucking shut up, right?
Oh, absolutely. And that's so hard for some of us.
Well.
Yeah. It's so hard for some of us.
I used to do all the.
I am.
In my GURPS games, I used to do all the talking, and I was never immersed in the game, and so I was constantly thinking, okay, what would the GURPS writers think would show up next in the game?
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of when I'm immersed and I don't prep, stuff just comes up. Okay, it makes sense that 3 blocks from here is this kind of a thing.
For me, oftentimes, like I'm there, I'm listening to the players do stuff. Especially if you have a good player that are active and stuff like that, you can let them run, right? You can let them go. You can do them stuff. Like I'm gonna have like 3 plot point I can go with. That is gonna come up to me while I'm listening, and then at some point I say, okay, like this one, I'm gonna pick this one, right? Yeah. And the other 2, I let them die. I forget about them, right? Just like that's all right, man. Just like. And that's fun for me, right? Just like
there's some ideas I don't ever use because the players came up with something
better, something like
Aren't you talking about quantum ogre right now?
No, I don't use the quantum ogre.
I try to practice to get away from the concept.
I have 3 plot points.
I put stuff.
It's time to bring up a plot point. Why? It's not because they took a left.
No, those plot point come up to me as the player role play, right? I say, oh, I see. He
Yeah.
just said that thing. I could lead to that thing. And then,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna force them. The thing with the quantum ogre is that you're forcing something on the player, right? And you're taking away their choice.
Okay.
That's
I'll make an NPC,
ogre
make it
doesn't
all
have to-
cool, and then the NPC never gets used. And so I'm too busy keeping up with the players. I have to now make something else up on the fly.
Okay. So you're saying.
So I'm doing quantum imagination.
You're saying Quantum Ogre is a little bit of you have a story to tell,
Yes.
and it's something that someone who doesn't have a proactive player would do. The proactive player has set up some sort of premise for you to set up the plot point that you're coming
The
up
quantum
with.
ogre is
That
basically like a
not
disguise
Quantum Ogre.
railroad, right? It's like oh, I have this encounter prep. No matter where you go, this encounter is gonna happen. I'm just gonna put it like wherever you
It's
want
an
to go.
encounter.
piece.
It doesn't have to be an ogre. It could be a buried treasure. It could be a dead witch. It could be a dragon. It could be a town. It could be a banged up
Hold on,
shivy.
I'm writing these down. So it doesn't
You're
have
making
to
fun
be
of
an
me?
ogre.
And you just want it to
shade.
you just want it to be a thing in your session because you thought it was a neat idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it start off like the big difference that you prepped it beforehand, right? And you damn gosh gonna use it, right?
Yeah. I'm not going to let this go. What I tried to do to break the habit of doing that, because I used to do that a lot.
Yeah.
Is
We
I
all
borrowed
did.
something from Brian Jameson's book, and he suggests that you start each and every session, you start by writing out 5 new secrets, and the secrets are all based on what happened in the previous session. And then those are just secrets. So that's something that you've been thinking a little bit about what is the ramifications of what the players did last time, and how is the world reacting to that, and what would be an interesting secret to have. Now, but the key to his method, and this is why it's good practice about the quantum ogre issue, is that you throw away those at the end of the session if they didn't come up.
Yeah.
You throw them away. You never reuse them. You never, ever reuse, even though it's like, oh, this would have been so good, right?
Yeah.
And I've even gone one step further where in our after game kind of decompress, as we're all talking about what happened in the game, I'll sometimes say, hey, I had thought of this secret. What did you think of that? And they're like, oh, wow, that would have been cool. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, what, are we going to do that next week? And I'm like, no, we're definitely not doing that next week.
Not now.
Because I'm committing not to recycle this, because if I keep recycling those secrets, then you're absolutely right. There's just way too much temptation to shoehorn that in.
When I teach
this
people,
is just such a good twist. Like, I've got to have that in there.
Yeah. When I teach people how to run games, after the session, we ask questions, and I'll say, I was thinking of this when you said that. Because they'll say, whatever happened to the guy? We left a guy behind. And I said, he just disappears. Is he coming back? No. I was too busy making other characters.
Yeah.
So can we, I have just a couple other things wanted to say.
Yes, go ahead.
About why I like to be a game master. I really enjoy seeing how players handle obstacles. Yeah. So I'm not sure what to call that. Like, I'm not sure if that's me just as an instigator. I like being the instigator, but I also like being the spectator. Even though I've moved away from saying excellent after every player turn, in my head, I'm still saying, excellent. That's a fantastic turn, or that guy did so good, or after a game, like after my in-person game this week, I had to say, the whole session, all of them, they were so good at separating player knowledge to what their characters knew, because most of the session they were in completely different places. One's on one planet, the other's on they're on one spaceship, a different spaceship. They're all over the place. And and I just really enjoy that. I like challenging the players and then seeing how they maneuver around the challenges. But I really enjoy seeing that. Like so I'm not sure if that's me as an instigator.
You're kind of like hovering around the thing that that I was thinking about while you were describing the things you like. I was like, about the times where I've really enjoyed GMing. It's usually when I am reacting to someone to get them like, it's like there's like this weird back and forth going on, and we're but yeah, we're like organized. I'm facilitating their in character experience. I don't know. I don't know what I'm just gonna say. I'm just gonna stop.
Well, there's two ways the GM can handle a scene where the stowaway is discovered on board the ramjet or something, and then
Yeah.
you just introduce this stowaway. Now, there's two kinds of GMs. There's the old kind, like I used to be, where I would just say, "Oh, there's a stowaway," but I don't know anything about the stowaway. I'm hoping the players don't ask me about the stowaway because I don't have any answers if they ask me.
What's the name of the stowaway, Sean?
What planet is she from? Now, the other GM, the 4D GM, is the one who instantly thinks up a little backstory real quick for the stowaway. A name, their age, what they're wearing.
Yeah.
And you can buy yourself
how they stow away on the ship.
Because like that's the thing too, you know, like
motivation,
the character won't find out this information right away either, right? If they stow away on the ship and stuff like that, right? They need to get to the information, so they need to ask stuff like. So you can buy yourself some time by having the stowaway be like hesitant to answer, try to delay, and then you buy yourself some time and
the mannerisms,
the cheat code. The cheat code is tone and theme.
Yeah.
I like it.
So you're just like, how does this make them more stinky? I don't know what if you have. I like it
when the player characters don't figure out the stowaway right away, and they know there's a stowaway, but they're not asking the right questions. I'm not going to give them hints, and my NPC now is going to run their ship.
Or you give them hints, you know, like they have like they want to do something in the world, they have to interact with the world, right? Just like
and my old habits of GMing would be, oh, you guys, what did you guys roll? Oh, okay, you guys found a stowaway in the cargo hold. What do you want to do? You can open the electro field or whatever that's containing.
Give them the options.
You
stowaway.
You can invite her onto the bridge and talk to her up there if you want.
I give him
hint. That's how I get control of the ship. Or you can take her to the sick bay, maybe. What do you guys want to do? And it's all like that. That's how I
plug her into the Matrix power cell. Let's.
Yeah.
I like being surprised. That was the last thing I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Is I enjoy the surprise.
Yeah, surprises are great.
And I find I get more surprises when I'm the game master. I'm role playing the world around the characters, and I just find good players are full of endless surprises that aren't surprises such as like, oh, well, that's just so random. Not that kind of surprise. No, surprises that are like, wow, why didn't I think of that? Like that I like that kind of surprise.
Or like, oh, that's
brilliant. Like, what a great, or that's super interesting. And then because I'm the game master, I get to steal all the excellent ideas that players have. I'm like, that's that's better than the explanation that I was operating under. So
that's the part, like the riffing part, like I'm talking about oftentimes. I say I like the riff,
the riffing side. Yeah,
they're gonna give me something. I'm gonna build with that. It's like, oh yeah, that's cool, right? Oh yeah, let's go with that. Let's see where I can bring that. Like I like your idea, right? Just like, I tried to have some buy-in there. So Crispy, when you about to start a new session, a new campaign, a new what's your prep look like?
Well, that's changed a lot, and it's a big. See, what I would usually do is I'd just start with a premise. So, what would be an interesting premise to play? A premise for a setting. And what I've changed now, like I'm doing a slow prep for a superhero game for my in-person group. So we've never done a superhero game. We've played lots of different genres. I like to move things around. Back when I thought that all I needed to do to get more out of the hobby was just try the next new shiny thing and not realize that what I really needed to do is just be a better role player. But we've never done a superhero game. So I'm starting off by just, I'm seeding the ground with the players, saying, hey, look at that. I show them the potential. Like, let's just take random. Like, if we just randomly created superheroes, and what would it look like? And let's just do it for like 5 minutes. Let's just create random superheroes, and what kind of world would they be in? And so that is I haven't really told them that, but that's my prep, is to get them thinking about it already, and then go from there into something like, well, okay, well, what's a cool premise for a starting obstacle or a starting an interesting location to
The
get
sixth
the
element.
ball going, right? So that's how I started my prep. Now it's a bit of a change from what I used to do, because I used to try to essentially just world build the whole thing, and that's a lot of heavy lifting, and I'm not sure that it's worth it. What is the expression, Phil? The juice isn't worth the squeeze. It's just a
Yeah.
lot of effort that
I'm the expression
doesn't.
guy.
Sounds
Yeah.
like a huge waste of time.
It's just a huge waste of time. And so my prep now is I'm trying something new that someone else told me. Brian G. Stochastic. What is it? Stochastic Agency, I think his name is. I had a conversation with him, and he said, what you can do to practice, like for GM prep, is you take a look at a picture, and then you give yourself a time limit, and you try to describe the picture that you're looking at. Like, so you're trying to describe
Oh, that's
it.
interesting.
So
That's almost like that's mostly I feel like training.
It is training. Yeah. So my prep
More
now
like
is
training
more.
than prep.
Yeah, it's I would call my prep more training than
I love that.
game prep.
Yeah, because you're reactionary.
Yeah,
Or
so
you're
what
not
I'm
a
trying to do-
reactionary, but a reactive.
You said the name. You
Hey,
said-
that's
you said
copyright.
that-
Excuse me, sir. You have to
Why
give
is it
him
called
25
training?
cents every time you. So it's training in the sense I'm trying to train myself to picture something and then have a vocabulary. How would I describe it in a way that comes off smooth? Because when I watch my game sessions again, my biggest complaint, it always feels too slow to me when I'm talking. Is that I'll stumble, I'll pause, and I want it to be a smooth description, And so it's a practice that Brian had suggested, and I think it's a great practice. You just because then what you do is you get a variety of images, and then you can go through it like a slide deck, but you only have 30 seconds for each one to describe it, and you haven't seen them before.
And that's I would maybe even cut the time. 30 seconds.
Yeah, maybe even like, and I think that's you start at 30 seconds or 60 seconds or whatever it is,
and then you
cut it down as you practice.
3 seconds.
And you're getting to the point where you can describe something vividly enough.
Sunset, couch,
very
bed.
brief time. So that's what I like to do. I like to practice that. I'll my practice. A lot of my practice is it'll sound very narcissistic, but I'll watch myself as a player. I'll watch myself as a game master, and I'll listen for the verbal tics that I'm developing without realizing I'm developing them, and then I'll consciously, like, I'll write them down. Say, when you say this, it's a public speaking tool, but it's like counting the number of verbal fillers that you put into a sentence, and then so it's us and
like.
Like I say,
sort
like
of and kind of.
That's hard for me.
Kinda seems. It's very hard. It's very hard.
I'm doing it all in the second language as well, right? So
yeah. Well, it'd be like me if I was a little more fluent. I'd be always like say.
Yeah.
Like Quebecers like to say a lot.
You go into the active and passive voice.
Yeah, and I will listen to that too. So it sounds like warm up. What does Nicholas say? Weaponized autism? Yeah, maybe. But I would say that that's great practice, because what I'm really doing is I'm practicing such that I can think quicker on my feet to react to what the players are doing, rather than spending a lot of time on this particular set piece that I really hope that the players come here, experience the set piece. There, I hear a verbal tick already, But the issue with that is that you will inevitably be tempted to be a railroader, because you have to go there. You have to.
Something I noticed that you do really well, Crispy, is you have a really solid narrator voice.
That's
you're really good at keeping a tone.
I'm not very good.
Like keeping like
he has
you're almost
narrator
another
voice.
character. Yeah. You have a narrator voice.
The GM voice.
The GM voice I practice. It's kind of embarrassing, but I will try to practice that.
Well, it's a skill like on any other, right?
I wish you could
Sports
narrate
skill,
my
yeah.
day to day.
Narrating. Phil.
Phil wakes up. Crispy?
That's right.
In my room.
Phil. It's a beautiful day, Phil. love me.
I'd have to negotiate some kind
Wasn't
of
that like a
salary,
movie?
probably.
Wasn't it a movie that somebody like at some point like started hearing a narrator like talking about
Yeah, it's
probably like a Nicolas
Will
Cage movie,
Ferrell.
no? Will Ferrell?
Strange.
Yeah, they should have put Nicolas Cage in that.
What's it called?
But they should put Nicolas Cage in everything. But
Yeah, obviously.
Of course. All obvious.
Shit. What's the name of that movie?
Unbearable weight of massive talent.
I like that's on my list.
I'll use the internet.
I've been catching up on my Nicolas Cage.
I didn't expect to like that movie as much as I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
Which one was that?
The unbearable weight of massive talent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Stranger than fiction.
I just watched Renfield and Dream Scenario, both with Nicolas Cage. Sweet. And I enjoyed both.
Is there's one called Adaptability or something like that? It's the one where
with Nicolas Cage when he's a
Wayne
writer. Yeah. But like for me, like when I want to do prep, right? When I'm about to do a new game, like I'm gonna try of a setting. Like I say, I keep them simple and short so people can make assumption. I'm gonna put some conflict in the world. Oftentimes, especially if I want to do a campaign and stuff like that, it's gonna be a conflict that's gonna be bigger than the character. So something they can look forward to over time. And I'm gonna think of like if it's a new campaign or a one shot, there's gonna be like some initiating event, right? And that's about it. Like I don't want to think. I try to stop myself from thinking about it too much because I don't want to come up with path. I'm gonna think about like, okay, like I'm gonna think about the setting so much, right? But like I often reuse the same setting, so like I know what kind of Renaissance people are like, so I can I'm comfortable in that. If I'm doing something I'm not used to, I'll need to think a bit about more, right? If I want to do sci-fi stuff, I need to think about just like, well, what are the implication of this world and stuff like that. But like usually I stay like I'm a medieval and Renaissance kind of guy. I like that. But I
don't know if I figured it out the best way yet, obviously. But I think the next way I want to try the prep is just kind of session zero out what people want to see. And then like develop some sort of big, like you're saying, basically make a conflict. But I like big bads, big bad evil guys.
Yeah.
And plot, like I want them doing something. And then have that interact with them. And then because my players are awesome and they're proactive, they're basically doing their own thing.
Yeah, but I think like even like thinking of a big bad, sometimes like I'm trying not to do that. But big bad are not that hard to come about, right? Just like
they're not evil. They're just doing something that conflicts with the players.
Yeah, but it's interesting to me, so that's why.
But the thing is, like, you don't know if the
you make them wear like a black cape and stuff.
Making like a fine, well-groomed mustache.
No, I just describe them as Christopher Walken walks into them. I just cast them.
But
how are you?
What I'm saying, like, you don't know if a big bad is gonna be appropriate for the character that you have in the game.
I'm sorry. What did you say, Max?
Yeah, listen.
Sorry.
I don't know. Like, you don't know before the first session. You don't know if the big bad you think about is gonna be appropriate for the character you have in your game. You need to meet the character first, right?
Well, that's why session zero is there. So I know what the characters are going to be.
Even with session zero, you haven't met the character your player or
there's no NPCs right? Yet, are there?
There are no
there's base NPCs.
Really.
Well, that's one of the benefits of a big bad evil guy. Like, it doesn't really matter what other people are doing.
It does.
The players make their characters, and the NPCs are based on the player characters. If they make human-based characters, the NPCs will probably be human-based, right? At first.
Okay. Probably, yeah.
They have to have a common the players don't just spawn on a world
Okay,
and
so
there's
human.
no one else is
Hopefully,
like them.
hopefully in session 0, you know.
So
everybody
they
I like
have
to
is
something.
cast.
at least.
They have something to compare with later when the big bad shows up. Oh, he's not like us.
Yeah.
My main criteria for a big bad when I'm doing prep is my big bad almost inevitably considers themselves the hero.
Good. Yeah, they're good guys. Obviously.
So
Yeah.
they're always like, no. Now they're going to use all sorts of means, but they're in their mind, they're always justified.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes they might just be very, very, very selfish, right? With that,
they went to a
yeah.
different high school.
that's fine as well. But the thing is also like I think your big bad need to contrast.
I usually almost never have them be selfish.
They need to contrast with the PCs,
Mhm.
or sometime be like the PCs.
Yeah, I've done that. I've had
that
where
can
the
be
big
very
bad
interesting, right?
was the PC. Like
Secret-
they were like the player characters,
Yeah.
and they had the same goal as the player characters, but I pushed it to like, I turned up the volume to like
Or
11.
they have the same goals
Way-
like the player character, but only one of those can
Mhm.
achieve this goal.
They
Right?
achieved something and then the project was shut down. And now they want revenge.
Yeah, that's the whole motivation.
Their girlfriend
We
got
were just
turned
1
into
month from release.
So
and they pulled the plug.
I'll probably have to
All
go
off
here
the
pretty quick
space, kinda.
because Friday night and all. But I wanted to, if we could, if I could be such a rude guest,
During a
Max,
practice session.
have we already talked about what you're like? So you're talking a little bit about what we get, like
Yeah.
the role, but what's your goal
goal.
as a
No,
game
what we
master?
get was the goal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What we get was the goal. Why did you decide to be a GM?
Why did I decide to be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you getting out of it?
What am
Yeah.
I getting out of it? I'm immensely satisfied when players tell me afterwards that they could picture it was like they were there.
So it's flattering your ego.
It is absolutely. To me, it's a
I can relate.
it's a huge confidence boost for me when players afterwards like, boy, that was so great. I get text messages from players the next day. Well, that was awesome. Thank you so much. That was great. But
Yeah.
the
Can
reason
you
why
narrate my bathroom experience?
yeah, I'm not gonna.
I'm brushing
but
my teeth right now.
What I always turn it back to them, and I said the reason why it was great is because I talked less. You were able to stay in character.
Yeah.
And you had this amazing experience in character, playing as that character for a couple hours. It was just awesome. And I like that. I find that very satisfying.
Well, I just want you
it's
to know
kind
I
of cool.
really enjoy when you GM for
Yeah.
me. I think you're incredible.
It's very kind of you, Phil.
Yeah.
You're very,
Check his-
very
check his
generous.
Also, I would say I
wait for
feel like
Monday.
we tend to focus on improving. It seems
Yes.
to be sort of a thing
Yeah,
that
it's a
we're
theme.
into.
Yep,
So
it's a theme.
improvement is the goal.
It
here
is.
almost.
Yeah,
It's one
work
of
in
the goals.
progress.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
So, yeah, and it's the same for players too, right? But it seems like we always talk about something else that we like when we're role-playing player characters.
Mhm.
We like the immersive experience.
Absolutely.
So it's like improvement plus
Mhm.
something usually.
Mhm.
And I got to say, I totally
go.
agree with all that
You got-
stuff that you said
You got the
Mhm.
narration there, Phil.
right here.
Yeah, you want me to
Imagine
give
if
that a crack?
Justin was the narrator.
An hour's gone by and he's still brushing his teeth. I'm full of
Oh
blood.
no! Oh no!
But I really like the way that you articulated the things you like about GMing, as far as like
Yeah.
the interaction with the player, like, and kind of sounds like the riffing. Totally agree
Mhm.
with that. One of my favorite GM moments ever was like when y'all were in the limo in that werewolf game.
Oh, I
And
loved
freaking
that.
Max is like yelling at the Glasswalker
That was
Sept
awesome.
leader.
That
That was like one of the coolest conversations in the limo.
so good.
And then
That was so
the
good.
girl is like starting to get pissed because you guys don't respect the Glasswalkers in their outfit.
Yeah.
The dude's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just such a cool experience. Like, and I'm not expecting Max to yell at this dude who's like
Powerful.
uploaded.
murder
Yeah.
the fuck out of him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But Anyways, that was awesome. I agree with you, Crispy.
Yeah, well, that makes for a very boring conversation, but thank you. I'm expecting you to be contrarian, Max, or Phil. Yeah, because Phil, usually you're really good at that. Somebody will say something like, "Yeah, I don't know."
Well, every once in a while, the contrarian label,
right? Just
you thought I was a contrarian. That's your fault.
That's right. Hey, so you're actually still in character. That's exactly right. Because you did the opposite of what I expected. That's right.
Where we all say like tear off your skin, and Phil come up and say, you know, I think you should keep it on.
Yeah. Really though?
It's got a lot of useful.
Seems kind of like quantum skin to me. I don't know.
But yeah, the role of the GM, we talked a bit about that at the start of the stream. We joked a bit about it because this is a cliche that's often said, like, oh, the GM is a world builder, and is the narrator, and is the director, and is the babysitter for the player, and is the entertainer, and it's like
there's no job that we can't just lay out the GM's feet, essentially, which is encourages exceptionally passive play. I had a conversation with another guy recently, and that was his he had recently quit a game group because he said they just wanted me to tell him a nice story the whole time. And I like your expression, Sean, the 6 to 6 program. I had never heard that before, but I was like, oh yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I've never heard that before.
Go to Walmart. It's a 6 to 6 program for adults.
So I don't like that idea that the GM is the end all be all of all of that. I prefer our style where the players are much, much more active, both in the setting creation and what's happening in the game. So I much prefer that. There is definitely different roles we have.
Let's be I blame 5e. I think like
maybe, but it's
a lot of players like to be told how amazing their characters are.
Yeah, I don't. It could be squat, bench, lift, deadlift. It might be 5e, but
critical role has a lot to do with it, I think.
I just think like if you look at the examples in even older game books, a lot of the examples encourage that thought that, well, the game master's job is to make sure that everyone has a good time, and then they'll have an example of role play, and
well, the role of critical role is to entertain the viewers.
Yeah.
Oh, who's this guy?
Sean.
What's he doing?
First coming
clone.
Lurk more, Shauner. Lurk more. So
he's the no goatee. He's the no goatee mutton chops version.
There are roles. Like it's fair to say that we do have different roles as a game master. Like you have to be you're the camera. You have a camera mode, right? You have the reaction mode of like you're role playing the NPCs. So you've that. That's an important thing.
Yeah.
You're there to push, like put obstacles in
difficulty levels.
Yeah, exactly. You're supposed to be the ultimate arbiter of whether or not something's easy or hard.
Yeah. And
I'm willing to share that a lot with the player.
I don't say that as like it's a cut and dried, but
you're the ultimate. Yeah, okay. You said ultimate, so I guess that's fair.
I think a big aspect also reinforcing like how effective your player characters are. Like you kind of have to react. Basically, your world has to react to what the players are doing. It can't just be like, shut up, idiot.
Sometimes you're doing pacing.
Yeah,
making sure the game doesn't.
You're moving the. I'm reading a book called The Well Played Game, and you've probably read this, Max, because you're well read, aren't you?
I don't read books.
Oh, you don't read books? Okay.
No, I'm basically literate. Smart.
I don't believe that for a second. Not even a second. But the author, I'm not all the way through it yet, but the author talks a lot about how all players of a game are responsible for the continuation of the game. And to do that, you have to be aware of what this author calls the play community. What I would call in our circles, it's the shared vision, the shared style. And you alter the game if need be in order to maintain that so that the game can continue.
Well, does he mention the social contract?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
That's a big part of like like what make a distinction between a game and war, right? It's like we agree on rules, and we
Yeah.
agree that we're gonna play in that. That's what
And
we
we
have
agree when
war
we
and
can
stuff like
cheat, right? Like
that.
we'll agree to change the rules. And
Yep.
and we do that periodically just to keep it interesting and
Yep.
and mix it up a little bit. But I don't like this idea that if people are going to have a good time, it's all up to the game master. Like that's
No.
that's just lazy.
Yeah.
It's super lazy. I don't like that.
But I also don't like a big problem I have with traditional like role-playing game is like this putting in the and that's something I talk often about, right? Just
Mhm.
like putting the GM on a pedestal, and then
Right.
the people like GMing putting all this pressure on themselves. And I say like, man, you're there to play a game as well.
Yes, you
You're
are.
there to enjoy yourself as well.
Yep.
And just
Some
fucking like
GMs want to facilitate.
they want to facilitate, and they believe this idea that they're there to entertain the player, and so that's
Right.
not the case.
No, it's
Like
not.
for me, like, I often say like role-playing game or like sex. Everybody there is not naked.
Straight?
Is
Nobody's naked.
I lost my train of thought. Sorry. Everybody's
It's probably for the
responsible for
best,
their own
Max. It's
fun.
probably for the best. It was getting
Everybody's
weird.
responsible for their own fun. That's what I'm saying.
Level 1 sex players.
Level 1
Yeah.
sex. Well, I never had any, so that's
What another role that we could talk about as game master is, in addition to what we have been talking about, I do feel that the game master is not responsible for everyone's fun at the table, but you should be it's not unreasonable to set a goal for yourself to inspire your players. And what I mean by that is inspire them.
GMs are going in the wrong direction. There's not only is it about fun, now the GMs are being told, oh, you have to make the game safe for your players.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I'm not talking. Yeah, I don't like
They're
that.
going the wrong direction.
Nobody
Like,
likes
But I
that.
like to inspire players. Like I'm gonna tell my players before I start a game session, my in-person group, here's what I'm working on, and then we can talk about how well I'm doing and why I'm doing that, so that they know, hey, it's a good idea before we get started to think about something to improve. And I want to inspire them to be more in character by myself being more in character.
Mhm.
If I say at the table, I'm going to be very careful about moving you around, I'm trying to inspire them to move themselves around more.
Yes.
So it's there's that kind of inspiration element as a role. So,
yeah, I call that drilling. I make the players drill. Say where you're at, what you're doing. We go round robin.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one talks for more than 30 seconds.
I think those drills are good. And for the GM, I think we should work on those drills, like describe the light and then go from big detail to small detail, or like obvious thing to detail, right?
Yeah,
And at some point when it's enough, it's
yeah.
enough. Let the player fill in the blank, or if
Yeah.
they interact with the wall and want more information, then give some more information.
And don't describe things after a player describes something.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm working on that. I'm practicing that.
Reiteration. Yeah.
Yeah, don't. Like if they say, "Oh, I'm from the rich neighborhood. I live on such and such street, and I have a rich house or a mansion," and then the GM starts describing their mansion that they imagine. That's no good because it ruins things. The player's already got an idea of what their mansion looks like in their head.
Rick say Evil Shunner has black beard and hair. I think you're confused. I think the Evil Shunner is the one we have
do
here.
I have that? Do I have that one? Let me see. I might have that picture.
Maybe the good Shunner got the black hair.
Rick.
I don't have it. I was going to switch my camera to that one.
To that one? Oh yeah, the old.
I feel like I keep talking over Phil. Sorry,
My
what are you
mugshot.
thinking, Phil? Oh, you're muted.
You're muted, Phil.
Maybe that's
That
why I was
doesn't
talking.
help.
Hey,
There he is. Okay.
It's Phil.
sorry.
The trio.
Did I say anything?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Your mouth was moving.
Obviously
for a
not
little
for a while. Yeah, I agree, Crispy.
bit. Oh man, here he is again. He's doing it again.
I think that one of the big things, I think I said this earlier, hopefully I did, but reinforcing player agency, making sure that every action they take has a reaction that's impactful, because I think that's how you're going to encourage your players to be proactive. Is like, yeah, this is what happens. Oh, that person thinks this now.
Mhm.
Except not shitty like that. Like, say that in a good way.
No, I gotcha.
I didn't get that. Sorry. I don't. Every action should have a reaction. Something. What do you
Yeah,
say?
so like let's say, Crispy's character is gonna pick up I don't, what are we doing? Do something, Crispy. Crispy, do something.
Yeah, that's right. You're trying to inspire me to do something.
Make him have an action.
You have an erection.
What I'm saying, what I don't get where you're going at, because we often have. Oh, there you go, Shauna with the black hair and
the anti-Sean.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
young Shauna before he became
what an absolute
like
dreamboat.
Were you nice back then, Shauna?
For some reason, I was getting that picture.
I was the same
like
person.
You versus the guy that he tells you not to worry about. Like that.
Yeah.
No, I was trying to come up with a character, and this is back in 92, 93. And I went to a mall, and they had one of those booths you go into to make passport photos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did a few glares at the camera. For $2, I got a bunch of photos.
But basically what I'm saying is that it's the role of the GM to react sufficiently to the players. Yeah. So when they do something that is meant to be impactful, you make them feel like it was impactful.
There you go. That's the important thing. When it's meant to be impactful, because we also encourage sometimes to just sometimes you just want to skip your turn. So just do an anchoring statement, right? You're just you interact with the world. You're still there existing. You're not just a floating head. You're still existing in the world. But you're basically doing nothing.
But you can still encourage them to make sure that you're kind of, maybe we'll call it a reverse anchoring, where just because they're sitting there doesn't mean you can't describe something for them.
I came across something in my game this week that I'd like to hear your thoughts on. Basically, what it was is that the players were being
thoughts.
Yeah, everybody,
specifically yours, Phil,
but specifically Phil.
Quiet
So
down.
what happened was, I won't go into the details. It doesn't matter. The gist of it was that the players were involved in something going down, but the whole, they weren't involved in every step. Mm-hmm. Like they were involved to set up something, but they didn't actually go through the boarding and taking over the spacecraft and securing the terrorist and all of that. They didn't do that. There was another team that was there that was specialized for it.
Okay.
But it was still the players that were involved in it. You know what I mean? Like there's having the players do some things that are impactful in the world doesn't necessarily mean that they were always the ones pulling the trigger. Okay. Like some of that could happen off camera. Some of that happens and afterwards, like this happened in our game on earlier in the week. And the players afterwards, they all felt like, well, that was super tense, but they never rolled any dice to hit anything. Mm-hmm. Like they weren't actually involved in the combat and securing the bad guy. They were nearby. They were instrumental in getting it to happen in the first place, but they weren't the actual team that did the breach and secure the
So what were they doing then? What were their actions?
One of them was the pilot of the ship. He was doing like harbor pilots.
Yeah.
So it's a science fiction setting, but I thought it would be interesting in a science fiction setting to have harbor like pilots to get ships through a extensive asteroid belt or something like that. So you had to hire local pilots. And so our pilot, when there's downtime, the pilot guy is like, I'm going to go on the job boards. I go on the job boards. I check. Oh yeah, that seems like an easy pilot job. And get some extra coin. And he's playing up this pilot thing. So he was the harbor pilot on this ship. And then they get, he just incidentally finds out, because he's reading messages that he shouldn't while he's being a pilot, that there's a wanted intergalactic criminal that's on this ship, this luxury liner. And so he decides, and I just threw it out there. Like, I was just like, oh, this would be interesting. Let's see if he does anything with it. And it was all just improv in the moment. But I threw it out there, and then he's like, we have a guy, one of their crew, through his life path, he was a director of a spy agency or something. Like, he got up to director rank in his as a spy. So he sends a message to he's like, hey, I think I might have this guy on this ship. And then that cascades into them, calling contacts in the local Navy detachment, and how quickly can we get somebody there? It's going to go quick. And these are passengers on a luxury liner, so they don't expect any kind of boarding or customs. They've paid way too much money for that. And so how are we going to get it? So they were involved in securing this guy, but at no point in the entire game session did they meet him. They never met that.
They kind of put the
NPC
thing in motion, though.
But they kept it in motion. But it was interesting to me.
They not only they kept it in motion.
So the question that I have for you is, how much can you do with that and get away with? Good night there, Squat Bench. Thanks for dropping by.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for dropping by.
So, how much can you get away with off camera and still have it feel like what Phil was saying, which is really important, that your actions, the character actions, are meaningful in the world, but it's going to be resolved off camera. It's, is how close can you be and still have that?
Well, they're still kind of the one that pushed the first domino, no?
They got it started. Like, they definitely got it started, but I wasn't about to have them, because they aren't.
So you made a hook. The players took the hook and then added their hook, and then it was resolved later.
Off camera. Yeah, it was resolved off camera. So,
how many player characters is there?
There was 3 in that session.
Okay, what are they doing?
So one of them is a mechanic.
One's the pilot. One's a mechanic.
One's a pilot. The other one is in this session, he wasn't even involved in that at all. He was doing something completely different. He's more of a former celebrity, famous guy who's actually his life path was scientist and dilettante or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it wrong, but so he was doing something completely different, and I had fun things that happened with him. But
so it's mostly just a dialogue going on with the
kind of like there were some roles, like they had some roles.
Oh, okay,
but it was
sounds like the players delegated it to someone else.
Yeah, they basically did.
Sideline, looking at stuff unfold.
I have people who can do this for us.
Exactly, which I thought was interesting, because usually, when we're playing, if something's going to happen, I have to be directly involved with it. But they didn't do that. They just said, "Well, I have a contact in the Navy. We got a spec ops team that's on this moon. We can get them, but we need a ride. Well, you guys happen to be close by, so you take." So there's.
I mean, they're orchestrating an entire bust of a super criminal. It sounds like it would be pretty impactful.
Well, it was super impactful. I think it's all right if you did it. Like, they didn't put him in cuffs. In other words,
like the rest of the world can still do stuff, right? The thing happened that the character are not involved in, like the character are not involved with everything happening in the world. Yeah. Otherwise, you're gonna have very small world syndrome. Mm-hmm. But still, the character should be doing stuff during the session, right? It's just they're just not passively watching. They can get the ball rolling on that thing, and that happened. But while that happened, they need to have something else?
It doesn't make sense for the players to be there, but it makes sense that the players have contacts that can be there.
Right. Trying to use their contacts more.
So right at the end, you have that guy, the spy guy. He calls in and he goes, "Hey, no one's ever gonna know what you did. You saved millions of lives."
That's what I did. I totally did that. I'm like, you're all getting stars on a wall that no one can know. Like I did. I did something great like service. That.
But what did you do during the session?
To show the resolution, I just improv like a news reel type thing, breaking news. The notorious criminal butcher of Omicron has been.
Now, what if the contacts failed? The big bad is still on the luxury ship. He murdered whoever came after him, and he found out that the players sent these hitmen to get him. He'll show up later. For
I
revenge.
use that actually.
Yeah,
I
like
haven't
what
thought
do
of
you
that,
do
but
like
I
during
like
the
that.
session? Yeah, like that would be a good idea.
Mhm.
The raid fail, or like maybe like, oh, we need you to buy some time. You're the Arbor pilot, like
Yeah, that's what we
it
did.
should
That
take like
that's
15
what you
minutes
did. Yeah,
to get to port. Can
yeah.
you extend that to 25 minutes? And then at some point, like after like you 5 minutes
Well,
over time, let's say, what like the bad guys say, what are those guys
yeah,
doing? I'm getting suspicious.
that's
Like
right.
because
You- you-
what are the player character doing during this time? Or they're just like monitoring the situation?
No, they were a little more involved than that. I was trying that, like exactly as you say. Like the pilot is because the spy master is like, okay, you got to buy us some time,
Yeah.
And so the captain of this luxury liner is breathing down the pilots.
Yeah.
Or like, what is this? Like,
Yeah.
I'm looking at this the telemetry that you've plotted out here. This is ridiculous. Why don't we just?
I was
go right
supposed to
there?
be at Space Cozumel.
Yeah, that's right. And so then
Yeah.
the passengers, these are all like the uber wealthy. They're calling up and
Yeah.
ripping the poor captain a new one every time that there's another
And
delay.
you get the entertainer
Then-
involved in that.
And then it was okay. Well, we need to come up with a plausible reason why this luxury liner is going to be subject to a snap inspection by by this other ship. So that involved the player, and
Yeah.
funny enough, the mechanic, because
Yeah, exactly.
the
You break
captain of
something,
their own ship was he wasn't able to make the session, so I had him listening to heavy metal, passed out in his captain's quarters for most of the session until they finally were able to get him up. By then, the mechanic's already in he's what was he doing? He was trying to pass himself off as the captain of the ship that's coming to do the inspection, but he's doing a great job of it because he's absolutely terrible at it. And he's like, but he's playing that way because he's the mechanic, and he's talking to the captain of this luxury liner, and he's anyway, there were some good parts of it.
Well, there you see, like then
pretty
the
interesting.
player are involved. The player are
They're
doing
involved,
something. They are
they're
part of
involved.
it. Like they're not the one. Like they
They
don't.
just
They're
weren't
not
at
doing
that
like
pivotal part, right? Like,
actiony part, right?
they weren't
But
at the action part. I
But
guess
they're
they were kind of
they're
sort of
making
action.
they're
Yes.
allowing the action part to happen.
Yeah.
I don't need action.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking of you, Phil,
Cerebral?
while it was going on, because I'm like, Phil
Yeah.
would really like this
That's
because we're not in combat.
I like
But
that
it's
you're
still
I like that you're
tense.
thinking of me in your other
I
games.
do. I was like, how am I going to play this
Good.
captain? How
I
would
wish
Phil
Phil
play
was
this
here.
captain?
This game would have been so much better with Phil.
I
Yeah,
would. I'm like,
exactly.
I want
That's what
Phil
we
to
call
play all
every
the
game now,
NPCs.
You're just like looking at your players and you're transpositioning my head on there.
I am. I look over. Yeah.
I wish every other player can be Phil.
That's right. I'm looking at all the
Phil
players.
should be running this
They're
game
all
right
Phil.
now.
Every one of them. And I snap out of it.
If only we could all be so
The
lucky.
bromance is real. It's true.
So Phil,
Phil's
what
my
was your
guy.
prep when you did the Wild Ale?
Oh, yeah, that'd be interesting.
I pretty much I wrote out all the little radio scenes
Yeah.
on when you guys are going down.
That was a
fun.
cool. That was a cool
Those
thing you
were
wrote.
super cool. I like those a lot.
What else?
That worked well.
I think that's a good example of prep.
The
maybe,
AI
like,
art.
because it's something like in the world that we're not meant to interact with. It's just like we're
Yeah.
basically like we're
Orange.
experiencing like something that's imposed on us. Like
It was the
fucking
best info
advertising.
dump that I've
Yeah.
had. Like, that was fantastic.
I had to get a little bit more system mastery, and that was my first Traveler game.
It reminded me of Quake 2.
That's
You
pretty
failed
much
the
what
beginning.
first session. Doesn't really matter, to be honest. I'm not like you didn't respect the rules, right? No,
Mhm.
whole session ruined. I don't care about that.
There's Broasar, now there's Bromance.
Yeah,
The rules.
Yeah.
always was.
Always was. Yeah. We're the astronaut meme. Yeah.
And you had an idea of the tone that you wanted. You want to have like the
Yeah,
slow
I just didn't
burn.
communicate it to anyone, so it's kind of a bummer.
I got the tone from those ads you did. I thought
Okay.
that was
But also
great.
like the tone about like being the slow burn. Having
Yeah, I
a lot-
wanted a
you
big
wanted to have a
slow
lot of
burn
time to
game.
experience like the thing on the you expressed it to me before
Yeah.
the game, but I don't know about the other one. But when we played, like because like when we were going through the session, it didn't felt that way. So like we got surprised, right?
Well, I can't react into a slow burn, you know.
No, were all the characters basically the same? Or were they too different
Mm.
from each other? Some
I think
characters
we're
want
pretty
fast
Different
paced.
ones.
We're pretty
Some
different.
characters want to
We're pretty
be
different,
slow
really.
paced.
We're different, but we all had something in common.
We're all prisoners.
We're all prisoner. But that's the thing too.
And human.
Were you all guilty, or were some of you innocent prisoners?
I thought I was
It was
innocent.
it was a mix.
You thought you were innocent? You're fucking guilty.
Well,
He's
I probably
a-
was, but I was
He's
slow.
definitely a violent
I'm a
killer,
simple guy, so
but he was
I
probably innocent.
But
probably
you were
did
so
do
like,
the crime,
like,
but I was
He was
framed
a
for
cop.
something
you
much
did
worse.
some crime, but
Oh,
you
yeah, I
maybe
was-
didn't do all the crime that deserved you that because you were
That's
a
right.
fall guy, right?
Yeah, I
Which-
didn't do
which-
it.
Sorry.
I didn't do enough that I got caught for that
Yeah.
should have.
I was definitely guilty.
Yeah,
Was there a character that was indifferent to the whole prison
Rick
thing?
was innocent.
Yeah,
Rick
me.
was-
Yeah, Rick was
They-
a political kind
They
of.
didn't
Political
care one way or
prisoner.
the other.
Yeah.
It's just
Me,
another
like
day.
my character was kind of
You
like
know who shot her.
okay with being with being there.
It's
because
just
they-
another ride to another planet.
I was
Because he wanted he was the guy that wanted to live in a savage world, right? That decided to do that.
Yeah.
That my whole backstory was that, right? Just like it was the guy that was born in noble and stuff like that, but at some point like say fuck it, I'm just gonna go in this wild world.
You want to
was
go
living
off
as a
grid.
barbarian there, and at
Yeah,
some point like
yeah.
civilization came there, did some bombing in reaction, got sent to this prison planet, and say, you know what, I'll be left alone there.
Yep.
So that was my own
You're gonna
motivation for this
retire.
character. Yeah. So that was my character. Was kind of like okay with being sent there. I'm just saying, you know what? That's a chance of a new life, something more. Yeah, he was a return to monkey guy. Exactly. Well,
I had also set
my
up.
character name was like Theodorian Collar, right? Dead K. Just like go figure.
I had
I
set
got
up a
it now.
few.
Okay,
Like,
gotcha. I got it.
I set up
I
a
figured it out.
few creatures. Like I had critters ready to go,
Yeah.
and the only one I really used was the one I got art for, and the rest of them I just kind of made up.
I loved the art you got for the one. It
Yeah.
was awesome.
The dragon with the long neck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was fantastic.
Yeah.
He's
But
cool.
It would have been helpful to have some artwork for the big pink beetle thing. That would have been
Oh, yeah.
cool.
But I think that that's the thing too. Like with Rick character was a political prisoner, important dude.
Yeah, he was
And
super important.
he was in the mindset of imminent rescue.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he kind of 4D'd a rescue vehicle. And I was like,
Well, I think that's fair because this character might have thought that there was an imminent rescue that would come up, and that could be something interesting to explore. Like, oh, my people are gonna come and rescue us because I'm this dude. Shit, right? Just like,
I was just gonna never bring them.
and then just like, it doesn't come, and then like, let's explore this guy.
It was meant to be like a hidden planet. Like if
yeah.
everyone knows where it's at,
Yeah, it's off the books. Yeah.
kind of doesn't really work as well.
But that could have been something interesting to explore.
Oh well,
maybe we would go back to it someday.
Usually the rich dilettante
5 years
Jeez.
later.
pays
5 years
someone
later.
to come rescue
5
him or
years
something.
later. This,
really-
this
by the
blue
way,
guy,
speaking
I've been
of
a
which-
slave of those pink guy for all this time.
I just wanted to say, Crispy, you're crushing those time skips, bro.
Oh, you like those?
Yeah,
I'm that's so tricky to do. It's
Yeah.
it's such a fine
you
line.
really like take ownership of the scene, and then you just describe time passing. I'm like, this
That's
guy's
how
a
you do it.
pro. This
I
guy's a
guess I'm
pro.
still kind of new to it.
Were you moving the sun and the moons and stuff?
Yeah.
I moved back. Yes, I put it. Hold up.
This weekend I'm absolutely I have to knuckle down
we're gonna
and
play
do
Monday.
a tweaker on the second Rising Sand video. That session. I've got to look at that.
Take a victory lap.
And
It's
you
the
can
best
do
session
Oh.
on the internet.
All
gonna
you
do
guys
the
have
roll
to
again?
do is tweaker.
I'd prefer I'd prefer if we could have players in it too to go through
Oh,
it.
you
Just
always
one
do
or
it
two
alone.
things.
You can't do a tweaker by yourself.
I know.
That's what
I don't
Crispy
really
always
call it
does.
tweakers. I just call it I don't know what I'm calling it, but it's a critical review is what I called it.
Yeah.
Because I'm just looking at me. Although I'll mention when a player does something really cool that I like a lot, but most of the criticism is almost all the criticism is on me.
You can say when I do something stupid as well. You can say when I make mistake or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
I could, but
Call it
I think
session critical.
it feels like bad manners because you're not there
No,
to be
like,
like,
because like I can take criticism and I want
Oh,
to
I know
improve
you
as
can.
well, right? If you refrain from doing criticism, for me that's bad manner because you're treating me like a child.
no, and it's not that I'm trying to. I'm just solely focused on what I'm doing. That's when I do my
Yeah.
critical review. It's just me, I'm not looking at the players. I'm just
Selfish.
looking at me. Yeah, it's selfish.
It's very selfish. Yeah.
Because I tell you when you like not you specifically Crispy, but all of you, I tell you when you do like stuff that I thought was a mistake. I'm
Yes.
not shy about it.
No.
Am I an asshole? Am I the asshole?
Yes.
Not at all.
Yes,
I
and
think
we're
that's
on your
because
screen.
it's sad to
But
be.
As an
Nicholas,
excuse, I'm a bit of a Frenchman, so
yeah, that's right.
You get a weird pass or something.
Yeah, it's very gall. It's very gall. Of him.
I'm not
Gallish.
dull at all.
Not even
I like
digging.
arguing with you when you tell me I did something wrong. I'm like, no, I didn't. You did something wrong. That's my
I
favorite.
do wrong stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And
Like
I
when we were talking about the Wild Hell game, when you're like, why didn't you speed up the pod? I'm like, why don't you jump out of the fucking pod? Like that.
Yeah,
because you said it was 25 fucking feet.
Yeah.
I know. It's 25 feet.
What did you fucking expect?
I've jumped off cliffs.
No, but I
further
just
than
like that.
So I'm like, I'm jumping out.
Crispy character was the right guy to jump off the pod.
I did.
Because he was kind of a bit of the dumber guy,
Yeah,
right?
I was dumb. Well,
That's good.
I tested it with the body of the other guy. And it seemed to be okay.
And
Of
that
course, he
was
was
smart.
already dead. So
We don't need to rehash.
we don't have to rehash the whole thing.
pod.
But I would say, in regards to this topic of criticism, I grew more as a player from playing in a game where Phil called me out for moving his character, and that was in Max's game.
Yeah.
And Phil called me out, and I knew right after I did it because I was watching Phil. And I could see Phil's expression. His eyebrows go up like
I had a
full
flashback
inch.
of my 2 DDAs.
Yeah.
I was like, what
I
the
got a
fuck
2
is that?
a.m.
I know.
post
And
from Crispy.
oh man,
I did something horrible in Max's
did.
game.
I was.
And I'm like, I watched it. I
man.
watched that game. What was
Fetal
horrible?
position
And then
on
I'm
the
like,
floor,
oh,
crying. What did I
leaving
do?
the cave. It was the leaving the cave part.
25 feet is pretty high to jump off somewhere.
No, we've done that.
It's pretty high.
You've done that? No, it's pretty
Yeah.
high.
It depends what you're landing on, I suppose. Concrete, it's pretty high.
Jumping,
If
doing
you land
cliff
on
jumping
flat
lake.
water, that's
Oh, yeah,
like
25
landing on
fine.
concrete at 25.
No, not at 25. No,
Yeah,
25
25,
meters is 25 meters for sure is really
25
sketchy.
If the water is fat and 25 feet, you're gonna fucking split open. If it's
No.
running water, that's fine because then the surface is smooth, is moving. But if it's flat water,
High
don't
dives
jump.
are over 25.
20,
High dives are 20 meters. Like
But they put-
15. So
they
that's
put bubble on the
60
bottom.
feet. That's
They put-
60 feet.
They do when they're practicing. I don't know if they do all the time.
Yeah, they do. No,
Do they? Okay.
Yeah. 25 meters is
I know they do that when they're
like you may not
I thought it was
survive.
10 meter I dive.
10 meter, yeah, so that's 30 feet. 10
Yes,
meter
sir.
is but like 10 meters, men's high diving will go above 20 meters.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I thought it was like those like extraordinary feet. That
there's high dive, there's dive, high dive, and skydive.
yeah. Well, skydive's a different thing.
Anyway, but back to what I was saying, Phil, when I did that to you, I was like,
Yeah.
okay. And then what was so good is instead of Phil saying, oh man, don't worry about it, Phil was like, how dare you? How dare you, sir? How dare you? You can't move my and then
Yeah.
and you blasted me, you put me on blast, and it
I
was
did.
absolutely perfect. And
was I-
it's exactly what I needed.
Was I the one to blame in that thing? Because
You're
I was
welcome.
the GM there, right?
No, no one was to blame but me. I was guilty of some time violations. Sean pointed it
was
out
taking,
too.
Someone was taking forever leaving the cave, and they had been shot in the
It was
back.
me.
Even
Well,
That was him, yeah.
they walked
was
in
Phil.
for quite a while.
I'm
also,
leaving
like,
the cave.
I was
again.
trying to maintain
Yeah.
that.
I said I'm leaving the cave a lot.
Yeah, well, but how many turns you went into
The
the
thick
cave?
doorway.
I don't remember.
But that's the thing, like, and you were
Not
playing
enough to let
cave.
Crispy get in front of me and tell me when I leave the cave.
And also,
I
you were
know.
quite deep into the cave, and also like when the action started, I kind of shrunk. You know, if you go into the cave and there's no action really, you can go more in one turn than when it's action time. Now the time is shrunk, right? It's
Well,
the
I was
time when you
describing
go,
it as like frightened crawling across the
Yeah.
wall.
which is not super fast.
It's fine.
Anyway, but also like that was at that time, and I think that's something we got much better at over
Mhm.
time is taking turn and respecting that everybody's gonna have a turn and not taking turn that are too long compared to the other people's turn,
Yeah.
right? If somebody took a short turn, take a short turn, right? Just like
It was
so
it was after that game, Max, that you coined that expression. I think it was you. It
Turnflation?
said turnflation.
Was it
And
for that game? I don't know. Maybe I think it was later,
was
but
it,
like
was
yeah,
it
that's
later
What,
on?
is, what does
Okay.
that mean?
If you're
Turnflation?
Turnflation is
It's like
There's a-
every time like somebody take a long turn, do a lot of thing in their turn, then you want to do a lot of thing in
long
their
terms
turn. Like,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
provoke
and then like the
further
next person
long
wants to do a lot of thing
turn.
in their turn, and then like
Yeah, play
that's
catch up.
turnflation.
and then I just do the where I am, what I'm doing, and everyone's
Yeah.
like, finally, my long turns back. I'm like, yes.
Exactly.
Stop.
Because Phil was basically doing the same thing, leaving the cave.
Yeah.
So they
But
skip
but
over.
that's
I
what I'm
was
saying.
also
you know, that's what I'm
yelling.
saying, like,
I was also yelling at the werewolf to try to kill everybody.
Yes, you were.
Like, hey, we're gonna kill your daughter. I gotta get out of here.
shoot her.
Oh, man, I so wanted to kill your character so
Wait, who-
bad.
Yeah,
Who killed the girl in the end?
It was
it
your
Ethan?
NPC.
One NPC killed the girl in the end. Eh?
Yeah,
Just
I
like
think
freaking shot her.
Crispy shot her.
no, I didn't shoot her.
No,
I was trying to
Crispy shot
protect her.
me.
Or
So
was
shot
it?
I shot Phil's character.
It was the NPC.
The
kid?
One
NPC
NPC
shot
shot
her.
the girl
She got shot in the back, and
She
Yeah,
shot
at
her.
Phil's
at Phil's
request,
command.
Yeah.
It's his command. She
Because
got shot.
Phil had this like
well, what
commanding
was okay?
trait.
What was the captain doing then?
He was
Where-
fighting
where-
the
The
werewolf.
captain was trying to keep everybody
fighting.
alive and everybody like
Oh
visible.
yeah, he was fighting
He-
NPCs.
He
Yeah,
was
he was
letting
fighting
people
NPCs.
shoot each other.
That was Rick.
He-
Yeah.
No,
should
he
have
was
con-
the captain was trying to say like, wait, let's not fight each other. Let's try
That's
to
right. He was
figure
trying to
this
just
shit out,
he was
right? It's like,
diffuse the situation.
yeah, and then like one of the NPC shot the
he
girl,
used his sword to
and then
push something up or something.
to raise somebody's gun,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
A
and
mu-
then
he raised a
Eli's
musket.
character, Luca, shot the werewolf or
Yes, he
He was
whatever it
getting
was.
torn up. Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
he was a werewolf or a demon or something.
Yeah, Mr.
Everyone-
Mundane,
thought he
mundane
was a
setting,
werewolf.
and it's a werewolf. We
Well,
should. We,
you
did,
know,
we didn't tease
have
you
to-
enough for that, Max. We,
you have-
we
you
should
have
have
to-
teased you more. For
You have
that.
to vet your player
Well,
characters better.
like that's the thing with mundane setting. When there's something fantastical, it's interesting.
That's true.
It is.
If you have a fantastical setting, everything is
It's-
fantastical, so it's
It's all
boring, right?
mundane. Yeah, true.
Yeah. So yeah, it was new for your character. Like, oh, there's a werewolf. Wait, what the fuck? Monster are real? And
Yeah.
even like an NPC reacted in that way. Like, man, I just
Yeah.
came here because I was like jolted about this girl.
Mhm.
And now like those things, demon and shit like that, I didn't sign up for that, right? That was part of the plot, right? That's part of like this.
Yes, you did. Remember?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
but Zizban,
Hell yeah.
Oh,
I'd experienced some supernatural stuff before, but probably most of the characters haven't.
no,
That's
I was a
the
skeptic.
beauty of the supernatural setting, and that's if we had played more game in that setting and stuff like that, it could have been interesting to say like how would Pharaon would have reacted. Say like, well, now I know there's some
Mhm.
supernatural stuff out there. How do you mesh that with your belief system now?
Well, and that's the advantage of.
Well, he
of
just befriends
revisiting
them.
characters.
Anything
Because-
that's against the church, he's for it.
Yeah.
Which characters survived that session?
You'll be my friend, werewolf, because we both. church.
Everybody survived except Zizban.
Yeah.
But or maybe Pharaon
Well,
just do a 180 and say maybe like the Sisban guy was right.
Oh yeah. See,
That's right.
probably would. I'd
He
come back.
died in that expedition, but you know what? There are dangerous stuff out there
That's
that
right.
we need to burn witches for.
Yeah.
Son, the next one is Son of Sisban or something.
Yeah. That's right.
No, the next one
No,
is Pharaon
Sis-
is the new Sisban.
Yep.
Sisban comes
I'll be
back
the
with an
Sisban.
eye patch and a goatee.
He's looking for his dad.
an
Because he
an
just
eye
fell
patch
down.
and
He fell down a cliff. Nobody really saw him.
a
Yeah, he might
prosthetic
be okay.
hand or something, right? You
Oh,
need
the
to
next session starts with you swimming back to shore or something. Was it like water cliff there or something?
No, it was just a cliff.
It was just a cliff, just dirt.
Yeah. It's a dead priest pass now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
So they're getting ready to bury you, and they see your finger twitching.
That's one thing I was sad about in that game because the priest was like old. That was down there, and I was like, and when I did my death scene, I was like, I fall down, and then next to the
Oh yeah,
body
yeah. I
of a
remember
young priest, I was like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, he's old shit.
that.
Also, the body wouldn't be there.
His
You know,
bones.
those people. Well, I think people probably fucking pick him up. I don't know.
They
maybe
didn't know where he
it could have
was.
been just his cross or something that was left
Yeah.
there, wedged between some stones.
I don't know. Like, you know, it doesn't really matter. All right, I picture, like, you know, the priest fell and died. They probably still went to pick up the body.
Well, you probably should have. After I did my death scene, you should probably been. Actually,
the body. No, but
villagers
that's the thing.
probably
You know-
picked those up.
That's a good lesson, right? In my mind, the body probably have been picked up because those people are religious people and stuff like that. They won't just let the body of a priest rot there, right?
Maybe it's too dangerous to get to.
Maybe it is, but that's the thing. Now, like, Phil say that, oh, I fell next to the priest. You know, it doesn't really matter, right? It's more important to preserve what the player added to the world than to have this. Actually, at some point, just like
Yeah.
let it ride.
So you're dead, but
But
there's no
you got it wrong.
bones.
I need to correct you because I'm
So
the GM.
your
I'm
cool
the
death
GM.
scene that you get a chance, you know, except for that.
I know that you did really well by calling back that thing that happened like
Yeah.
an hour ago.
And, you know, and that's what's fun when we talk about the GM role, right? That's the thing. Like, you're not the one. Like, people say, like, oh, the GM is the one that is holding all the truth of the world. Like, nah, don't do that. You know,
Yeah.
you're not that, right? Sometimes, like, you have your idea of the world,
Yeah.
but it's not your world.
In the
It's
after
GM
session,
thing
I
world,
asked the players, "What do you think happened after that scene?"
Yeah.
I'll say spoiler, and I'll say what my idea was for an NPC, and then
Yeah.
they'll say what they thought should have happened to an NPC.
Saint Sisman.
Senses Ben. Maybe we'll go back to this world at some point with Senses Ben, but we're gonna play it with Bastard Sword.
What happens is 4 guys show up dressed in black, and they've got this black sheet, and they put it over Phil's body, and then his body,
here, and you can see.
Or no.
and
Like,
then his body floats in the air underneath the sheet, and they all just walk away. And
Senses Ben would hate that.
the sheeted Phil is just floating in the air
Or maybe-
between the 4 dudes.
Maybe it's many years later, and now, like,
My
this village
body's
became
still
like
down there.
no, the
Say
village
no.
became like a place of pilgrimage to Senses Ben.
Oh, the chicken
the
hearts.
martyr.
Yeah, my
chicken
skull,
heart.
my skull is
They
my
throw
skull's
chicken
a
hearts
relic
off the
now.
cliff.
Yeah.
Someone says, "Oh, he's got chicken hearts. I know a thing," and they just totally reanimate him.
Oh,
I told you they use them all the time.
the ghost of Senses
The
Ben.
martyred Sisbin.
Yeah.
They're dark powers.
Fizbin. What was it? Fizbin.
You're alive, but all your bones are broken. So all you do is go, "Ow!"
Well, Max,
And then
I've got to
the
run,
protagonist is your
gentlemen.
granddaughter.
I gotta go.
Ouch.
But I thank you very much for letting me drop in and giving you my 2 cents on the.
Thanks for coming,
topic.
Chris. We settling
thanks
it.
Always a pleasure. I
Thanks
had a
for
good laugh.
solving it all
It was
for
good.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
right. Yeah, but it's always nice to
Hey,
talk
did I
to
mention that I really love your GM style?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Crispy.
Good
We're
job,
playing
Chris.
Monday, right?
you. Yes, we got a game on Monday.
Yeah,
Yes.
we gotta get it Monday. It's been a
Game
while,
Monday.
Rising Sands.
man. And
Rising
I'm,
Sands.
I don't know.
I'm
I
super
don't know.
excited
Like,
for it.
you know, like, oh, this system, I wasn't too warm about,
Mhm.
but I love this setting. I love
The
those
setting's good.
characters,
Yeah.
and I really want to figure out like what's happening with those. Like, I'm really invested in that.
Oh, I can't wait. I mean, I'm
Don't
gonna do a bunch
fucking
of
push it.
practice.
Like, start us
I-
where we left because I got
Oh,
I
to
have
yeah,
to go
yeah.
too.
Yeah,
I have to
right
go
where you
too.
left.
Oh, you
You
have to go
too?
Connor?
Okay.
All right,
Yes.
take care, Sean. Take
I'll
care.
see you guys
See you,
later.
Phil. See you, Sean.
All right, Phil. I hope you're not leaving me right away because I still have like a glass and I guess a glass
I
of
don't
wine.
have to leave right away. Ooh, I wanted to talk to you about something though. That is
Go ahead.
role playing related.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
Even better.
So me and Max were bored 2 days ago. Or was it yesterday? I don't remember.
Me
When we were talking about
playing game.
playing a game.
Yeah. Was it
Anyways,
2 days ago? I guess it
it
was,
was 2 days.
probably. Yeah.
Boom.
Because
So
yesterday I was watching BLG stream, which is excellent.
yeah,
They don't need my endorsement. They're much bigger than me, and now
yeah.
they're having all the. I'm not. I'm gonna be nice. Go ahead, Phil.
Anyways, so like I was thinking I kind of want to get a 1-and-1 game, so like a 1 GM 1 player game
Yeah.
going that brings in guests. And I was thinking the best setting for that, because you can't really do this with multiple people, is a spy game. So someone's a
that's
spy, because you can't really do groups of spies.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's not really a thing.
It's always like one, like, oh, the spy is working with
It's
this
always
agent.
one agent.
Yeah. It's like the
And then
agent
supporting
and
guests.
like this contact inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you like basically like all the guests do Bond Girl.
Mm-hmm. You have
Which-
a fleet of Bond girls played by
Yeah.
dudes, obviously. So that's
Played by
all
dudes,
the
obviously.
people we know.
Well, maybe we can get some. Maybe at some point we can get Harmony Ginger to join.
Harmony Ginger will be your Bond girl.
By the way, she's the new queen. So fuck Diana of the Rose.
We're done with that.
Go and subscribe to her and go
Dude,
subscribe to
there's
Harmony
more than
Ginger.
one. There's more than one Bond girl. Take it easy.
I'm a fickle
We're not
man.
burn our bridge just yet.
I'm a fickle man when it came to simping for girl online. I said last time, like,
Yeah.
go and subscribe to Jenny D and subscribe to Diana the Rose. Now I
Stop.
say, go and subscribe to Diana the Rose and subscribe to Harmony Ginger.
Mhm. So it'd be cool to do that. I was thinking, obviously we would session zero the shit out of it. But I was
Yeah.
thinking, would it be cool to do like a undercover, like you're undercover in a terrorist cell almost? That sounds like it'd
So
be kind
would
of
it
a
would that
badass
be like a
game.
modern game? You could do
Probably be
sci-fi,
modern.
I guess.
It could be, but you're not a big sci-fi guy, right?
I'm not a big sci-fi guy.
I'm much
I'm a
more
big
of a modern fan than a
Yeah.
sci-fi fan.
Because I was thinking you could also do a thief game.
Like Thief the video game?
No. Well, yes, I guess.
Oh, you're saying like you're a thief.
You're a thief.
Yeah, but you could do a crew of thieves. No problem.
Yeah, but you're also like this guy that need to
Not that
steal
we have
stuff.
to. I mean,
And need this guy that is a professional thief, right? He get hired to steal stuff and then find, like, if you want to bring it medieval, I say, like, or Renaissance, right? I say
mhm.
that would be like yeah, you do heist, and then you have like this guy that's a professional heist, the main PC, and then you find like those contacts.
Yeah,
Thief is very close to spy, right?
sure.
It
What's
would
the
just be a way
benefit?
to bring it back. I guess spy might be more interesting. You can even do spy in medieval time, I guess, because
Good.
spy might be more interesting because you have more of the social interaction aspect.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could do modern as well. Could you do early 20th century? That could be interesting.
Do I have to know stuff? Like you
You,
want it
you know,
real?
you don't know about the early 20th century?
No, what happened then?
Well, you elected Woodrow Wilson and you gave women the right to vote.
Okay.
And then your country
okay.
went to shit.
Yada yada yada.
Yada
9/11.
yada yada. I'm not saying those things are directly related. Do I need to put the fucking like the warning on top again? You see that?
Yeah.
You weren't there. I made this warning now for the
Oh,
start
this is
of the
awesome.
stream. Yeah.
It's not jarring at all.
Well, you know what? I think it needed to be said. It needed to be
Yeah.
said. Yeah, Lupin 3. I'm not familiar with Lupin 3, to be
Lupin the
honest.
Third.
Lupin the Third.
It's
But
anime. It's awesome.
yeah, but I'm familiar with the story of Arsène Lupin, being French and all, right?
I don't know.
Yes.
It's an anime, so is it French?
No, Arsène
Something
Lupin
to
is
think about.
a classical French character.
Mhm. From
Yeah.
Japan.
No, from France.
Right on.
But yeah, spy game could be interesting.
So I was thinking
I just don't want to.
between.
I don't like playing something that is too modern, especially not something that
You
is
don't
like.
like modern. Okay.
I don't like anything that is
Not
post
too modern. I'm saying like
1930s. Right?
90s.
What?
90s.
No, I don't
James
like.
Bond.
When it's like that's too modern for me. It's too close to
Okay.
where like my live experience, and I don't like things that are like post World War II or
Would you
post
want
1930.
you don't like high magic?
I don't like I'm
Fantasy.
magic. I'm very specific. And that's the autistic thing, right? We have like very specific taste.
Yeah.
The reason is like when you start like dealing with like more modern stuff,
hmm
it gets political very
I'd much
fast.
rather make a fictional world.
Oh, that could be done. That could be done.
So maybe a fictional world in.
Yes. Nicholas is right there as well. Like it got to be before the invention of train for MrMax. I hate train, so yeah. Obviously, if like it's before
Dude,
train,
are
trains, yeah, much
awesome.
better. What?
I don't get your hate for trains, especially in a spy movie.
I
Such
hate
a
train.
great setting.
A setting. That's a great. It could be a cool setting.
Yeah, you're trapped.
Yeah, I hate
Like
train because
murder.
I told you before why I train. No, for me to represent
Um.
the end of the adventure era.
Oh yeah.
Like usually, like going from one place to another was an adventure. No, you just fucking sit on a
It's
train.
kind of the same thing as like women's suffrage for you. It's like trains and women's suffrage.
Well, to be fair, I hate women's suffrage more than I hate train.
So that's fair. So I think
But yeah, one on
which
one
I
game could be
kind of
cool.
like the idea of doing but for me it was between Total Party Skills and World of Darkness. Like obviously I'm
I
not
like
gonna have
TPS better.
supernaturals. Huh?
I like TPS better.
TPS. Why? I think that the time frame you're saying TPS is better.
Sorry?
The time frame you're saying is TPS is better, like a Renaissance C or earlier.
But even no, even in modern stuff like that, right? I like the rules just get more out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you
The
guys,
reason I don't like it,
that's an official endorsement of TPS, Total Party Skill, from me. So if you haven't looked at it, go on Amazon.com and look into it. It's I think it's a pretty good system. What?
the
Go ahead.
benefit to World of Darkness over
Yeah.
TPS for me is if you want to play a long-standing game, you can actually get some good progression out of it, as
Yes.
opposed to TPS.
Yes.
I'd rather play a session of TPS than World of Darkness, I think.
Yeah, I get what you mean, but I'm not too worried about the long progression. Usually, I don't
Yeah.
mind if my character doesn't progress that much because you're gonna progress in other way. Your personality evolve, you get contact, you get resource. There's other way to progress than just getting more stuff on your character.
XP.
Hmm?
No XP.
Yeah, than just XP. If you were to do like the World of Darkness, what would you do? Like Hunter, or we
I
just
wouldn't give you powers. I just let you roll a character.
yeah. For me, like
More
World of Darkness is still there's still a little bit more crunch than I want.
It's a lot of skills when a spy has very specific skills that you want. There's not a lot of like variation when you're already locked in as a secret agent.
Wait, should I put the link in the chat? Do you want to take people from the chat coming in?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll do that. Read the rules, people in the chat, because now like we talk with the main topic. So let's open the floodgate to the masses.
With or without skin, right? Or no? Or is that just something you make an allowance for me?
It's expected that people would tear off their skin, right? Just obviously, when you
Just
talk about tearing off your skin, we're not talking about like literally. Oh, there you go, Justin. How are you doing?
What the fuck, man? Why didn't you give me the link at the beginning? Ah!
Well, you know,
specifics.
yeah, I had Shauna on.
Yeah.
You know how it is, right? Just like,
He's a little bitch.
no, well, you know, don't be mean. You know,
Yeah.
just like,
Isn't that a rule?
oh,
Did
there
you
you go. And
violate
we
No,
got
no,
we
it's
got
identity
Ted joining.
politics.
Oh man, look at that! Everybody's doing the black
Culture
background
war.
stuff. I got it. I like it.
I got a little bit of blue down here.
Easy.
Yeah. Also, you
Hello,
and
Phil.
Phil are not doing the green the black T-shirt, right? It's black background with black T-shirt. That's the effect.
Yeah. Well.
It looks like I'm wearing kind of like an
I
army
love how
hat.
Phil need to look at the color of his T-shirt. Like, what am I wearing?
Well, it's actually a purple.
It's purple.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh, you look gray from here.
Oh, like mauve.
because I don't have a lot of light on.
Mauve.
Mauve.
How are you
Mauve.
doing, Zed?
doing good, doing good.
So I
played
see
with,
by your
played
caption
with
that you put that you played your first 4D session today. All right, tell us
Yes.
about that.
Did you guys do the new Minera game and I missed it? That was supposed to be today, wasn't it?
Yes. No,
But it
it
wasn't
was.
streamed.
Yes, it's recorded. We got it in the can. We
Oh,
had a simple, like 1 hour session, roughly, of actual play, and then some talking about how it went. We had another player jump in. I think his name's Spencer.
Oh, Nicholas,
You
you were in
played
that game
with it.
too, weren't you? Was
Yes.
Nicholas in that game?
Yeah.
Nice.
So we got a fourth guy to hop in and replace another dude. So we had a lot of role play and no dice rolling,
Oh, really?
so that we can introduce the mechanics to our fourth member for the next session, and not just like jump him with, jumping in for the game in the 15 minutes notice and also learn all of the rules at the same time.
4D is a lot of rules.
Yeah.
That's funny, eh? We're the one like bring fucking rules for roleplay. That's something I often talk about. You know, like those fourth generation role playing game like Dungeon World and Burning Wheel, right? At some point they identify that, oh, you know what? We're calling those role playing game, but there's no rules for role play. So let's gamify everything about role play. And I say that's the wrong direction. Like we put fucking rules
Yeah.
for role play, but we do it and saying like, well, you know, in your turn, say what your character is, what your character does, whatever. I'm getting drunk, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh shit, you got drunk.
Yeah, Justin, talk. Say something.
I am the
Why
most
aren't
elite, damn you.
The
No,
most elite.
Thanks for narrating my toothbrushing, Justin. I appreciate that.
yeah. I meant motion, not emotion.
Yeah, we
That
got
was
it.
some good role play.
You're probably fucking doing like this voice to text speech again, eh? You fucking
Yeah.
lazy bastard, man.
One of these days, I'll make it be accurate.
It's so weird. Whenever people
work
type
your
like that,
finger.
you're like, who types this much? That's what it looks like.
I write entire.
Nicholas, did you like your game?
I do all my paperwork that way too.
I'm
But
assuming
nobody reads it, so that's all right. You like that's your paperwork, like fitting in like report that nobody's gonna read.
Actually, no. I mostly hand out assignments for people, but they actually
Who's-
have to write stuff people will read.
Yeah,
It's
and
not-
then
it's
to
not
decrypt
people-
what the fuck you meant. That's a big part of their assignment. Wait, what? Oh, I probably meant that.
I hand out assignments every other week. They have a week for decryption and a week for task completion.
Is it
And that's why the country's
OGGN?
running so well.
It was in the game. It
I
was
don't
pretty
work for
good.
the government.
Oh,
We all know you're a Fed, man.
That I know of.
I was in the game; it was pretty good. I was a bit jumpy at the start, though.
was
That's
OG was in the game too, right? Or no?
OGGM was he?
Yeah, he was supposed to play, but jump chip. So
Oh,
we kind of had to, handle the situation as it arose.
Gay.
But he was the replaced one.
Yeah, luckily we still got to play. Like for me,
Good.
it's a big deal because it's Friday night. For everybody else, it's noon. You can just
Yeah.
do whatever you wanted to do, anyways.
Normal people.
But but I replaced the Dark Eye session for the night with this game, so
Yeah.
I didn't see my friends. I'm gonna see them on Sunday, but yeah.
Our good buddy.
You're to leave those friends, Z.
Yeah. The cult requires
That's we're getting accused of being a cult already, Manfield.
yeah.
Speaking
Look,
of which, I
it's
haven't
friends
seen the
or
deed to your house
role-playing.
yet.
What am I supposed to choose?
Sorry, Justin,
Good
you were
call.
saying?
I don't remember.
Fair enough.
All right. I'm sure it was very relevant then.
It probably was. I'm usually relevant. You just got to decrypt what I'm referring to.
So how do you guys deal with a group or a player that says 20 minutes before you are supposed to start, like, I'm not showing up?
I'm guessing this is due to OG whatever's.
I mean,
you call them.
it's not a unique case, but like I've
Yeah.
seen it happen before. Many
Oh my God,
times
it
I just have
so
a
many-
rule,
That's happened to me so many
24
fucking times.
hours, right?
Oh, really?
Go
Well,
ahead. Tell me.
Oh.
Sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes you got to bow out at the
Yeah.
last minute because something's come up, right? And it is a game,
For
not
sure.
like heart surgery
Yeah,
or
but-
whatever.
That doesn't happen to me.
You're a
at all.
loner who lives alone in the woods.
Well, no, but even with like in-person group, but maybe it's because like people that I know in real life are scared of me.
There are
So
also loners who live alone in the woods.
Yeah.
no, people like people would drive like an hour to come to my table, right? Just like or an hour and a half sometime, right?
Do you drink alcohol during your live games?
Well, I drink alcohol during my life.
Yeah, see, I'd call this like a reason that, yeah, sure, I show up and play with you. I want money to drink with.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah,
beer
did,
spot pretzels approach.
I don't know what I do. I just
Well,
yell
Well,
at
you
them.
do live in the fatherland. They know about beer and pretzels there.
Yeah.
Kick those people out if I can.
Oh wait,
And
I'm not allowed to talk about that. It's rule 3.
Sorry, Phil, you were saying?
I said I kick those people out if I can.
Yeah,
Immediately.
but I don't know. Like I have like
bothers the shit out of me.
Phil, you know like the kind of relationship I have with my real life friend. Like it's like a military order, right? Just like, so
You have weird drills in the middle of the
yeah,
morning
and people have
as you
titles
raise
like
your
that. I got my
flags.
lieutenant, I got my consigliere, and I got like everybody got a title, and they all expect them to do their job. So if
Sure.
it's gaming night, it's like
Your friends.
Yeah.
I treat my friend like a military thing.
Very
So
weird.
I've
Very, very weird, bro.
Very particular
Well-
about the people that I see as friends. Yeah.
well, yeah, but shit gets to be done, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
You know. Otherwise, you
So-
just kind of assume everyone is like,
Yeah, like what are you gonna
Not
do? Like, are we gonna
going
be?
to come
You want to be
through.
my friend or not? Then there's some like condition,
Yeah.
right? You have to
Yeah.
you have to show up on time. You have to do. you
Yeah.
have to,
So when I
fill
send
out
the
your
link out
role.
at noon,
yeah,
you don't come
yeah.
10 minutes.
I got
ending.
my lieutenant. I got my consigliere that which for a matter of spiritual matter. I got my jester
Mhm.
that keep me like from being an asshole, like laugh at me. Like you're the guy that's allowed to laugh at me. Like that's your role in my friend group. And I say we do something, you do it.
So
But-
typically what I do in a session when I was doing that was I would send out the 24-hour we're going to play in 24 hours. Let me know if you're going to join.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then if at least 3 people join, we're running the game.
Yeah.
And everyone else I don't give a shit about but you should tell me if you're coming or not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
It's a
understand
very
that
tight
for the.
hierarchy. Like you should have a hierarchy among your friend.
Yeah.
Am I being a bad friend?
Yes. Yes, you,
Yeah.
yes, you are.
I don't know.
I wouldn't know.
But you're an autist, so.
As long as you're clear about your expectations, then you can do whatever the fuck you want.
And I
I'm
treat
just-
them well. Like I consider what they need and what they want.
I'm just saying, it sounds like you're going to be spending an eternity on a train after life.
Here they say you attract more flies with honey, but I don't want to attract the flies. You know?
Yeah. You want to attract the wasps.
I want to get the wasps in, the murderous wasps.
The murderous wasp. Well, they also attracted to honey, so you know.
Ah, shit, we're fucked.
I don't know, man.
man.
Like thinking about the people, like I to be honest, I couldn't tell. Like I don't have people like people that say like, oh, we're gonna do something, and then they fucking choke on the last minute.
Mm.
Well,
They don't
like-
stay around, right? They're not invited anymore.
yeah, I understand that, but it's like, okay, I broke my leg, or I got called in to work or something like that.
Yeah.
It's reasonable that happens, but if it's
Usually
just
when you
a
have a
regular
relation-
pattern,
Oh yeah, the people
So-
also hang out with don't have jobs. So
yeah,
Or
they're all
legs.
crypto bros like you
None of
fucking.
them have legs.
they also don't have legs.
Most of them
A
are
very
made out of
particular type
fucking
of person can be
Love
my friend.
fiberglass.
When all of your friends don't have legs, I see one common denominator here.
Yeah.
I keep those legs safe.
Who's gonna use fake legs today?
If you need to go somewhere, I'll take you there. But I don't.
We did
really
we did
need
have
that.
a meat shortage about 6 months ago, so some of them may have eaten their own legs.
What do you mean I'm being too clingy?
I got one extra nutrient IV. It's good because now they're all in beds.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
just have
at
to
Max's
roleplay
house.
with me this Friday evening.
And Monday morning.
Convenient. You just bring like the
And
fucking
several
folding
times in
table
between.
where they all have the hospital bed there
Yeah.
strapped to it. It's D&D. It's D&D night, guys.
I'm pretty sure that's how Critical Role got started.
That's funny.
Well, their audience
I'm not a serial killer.
often.
You all wake up in a hut in the mountains, your legs missing, in hospital beds.
Greg's like,
A guy
I thought
walking
we
with a
were
folding
role playing.
table and some books under his arm.
Guys, just roleplay yourselves.
Yeah.
Easy.
Without the legs.
No, with the legs. I run really fast.
But there's a
blood
door in
is
front of you. What do you do?
No, I don't know, man. I think you should. I think you need to.
I complained that you said, what do I do?
Maintaining friendship in adulthood is a hard thing, right? And
Yeah.
you have to make an effort for it, and you have to stress that into people, right? You want to be, you want to be friend. I'm losing on my viewer. I just saw the number fucking drop. Like this, people are not into that fucking crazy talk.
We were role playing, damn you. Get back here.
Yeah, they're just on
Yeah.
the stream.
What?
They're all on the stream now.
Yeah. Now, for
Nicholas.
people watching, we're entering the drunk part of the stream, so be warned.
that is true.
Are you
I'm the
saying
only
I
one
need
that
to...
is drinking though, so man, you fucking letting me down, guys. You're letting me down.
I still got a little bit of this I can...
Maple
Is it the
syrup.
gentleman?
So you're gonna put that yourself into a sugar coma? Oh, okay, that's okay. I see.
The bottle's dirty.
I just got water here. So
But I do got maple syrup.
I know. Mix
But
both. You're gonna make
but yeah-
sausage.
with
Um,
our friend circle at home, we just coordinate when to play, and then we play, and it's not let's role play. This is what we do when we meet. No, we just want to meet up, like, and do something with our time that we do,
Yeah.
and the time and the things we do is play Shadowrun, play D&D.
Yeah.
All the shitty games with the super complicated rules that nobody wants to memorize, but one guy will, and he will correct all the other people at the table.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why...
Like
that's why...
sorry, go ahead.
That's why I say your rule system should be very simple.
Yeah.
That way, you know the person, who doesn't memorize a simple rule system, doesn't want to be there,
Yep.
and you get the fucking rid of them.
But also like I have those friends I play board games with, and that's fine, right? Just like they come over and we're just like, because I know
Yeah.
they're not role player, so we play board game. And
Yeah,
I'm
but
good.
but I will not come over for a board game because I need a 3-hour drive, like to get there and back home. So that's
3 hours
that's too
plus
far
fire or
away.
what?
Like if I was in the city, I could take a half hour to board game
Yeah.
or war game. But for a role playing game, I'm investing in the time and effort to show up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also, we drink a lot.
You
That's
just said you don't meet up to role play. You just meet up.
That too. I've tried sometime. Like I've tried to set up a war game, and my friend, we just
I got my first GF because I whooped her ass at Risk. So
No, you didn't.
that
yes,
works.
I did. That's actually a true story.
Phil, I need to go piss. You're in charge, okay?
Okay, what do I do?
You sure that's
Yeah, you
safe?
just talk to people and well, Justin got a wrench. I
Hey,
think give you a
hey.
wrench, Phil. Talk
Yeah,
to
give
people.
Phil a
and
wrench.
get going.
We
Yeah.
will answer anything you want from us, Phil.
All right.
It
The
is
time
ac-
you talk about it in my back, right? You say like, "Oh, Max is such an asshole." Right?
Yeah, Max is such an asshole, but I say that to his face, so it's okay.
I think he's trying to trick us. I think he can hear us.
He can hear us.
Okay.
He has Bluetooth headphones.
Fine, young man. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, your risk strategy.
My risk strategy. My risk strategy of playing 3
North
games
America,
a day. No, Britain. I prefer Europe. It's the challenge.
Okay. You're too
Well,
good.
You can get access to it from everywhere on the map, right? And the borders are
Europe, yeah,
hard
Europe's
to.
the worst.
Yeah, but when you play 3 games a day for 4 years straight, you like the challenge.
What?
Yeah.
That's a lot of games, man.
Yeah.
Isn't there
Why
better
why
than
risk of all the games to spend every day playing? But this one.
We would. It was at the game store, so everyone would come in
Mhm.
and
Okay.
I'd play it
Just
between
spending
like
a
other
day at the
games.
game store? Did you ever play Risk Legacy?
The original one. Yeah, that was the only one I played. I didn't play with your objective cards or Moonbase Alpha.
I never played.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I never played Risk
played with that
Legacy either. I just heard it was like one of the best Legacy games there is.
stuff.
And that was like one of the first ones too.
Yeah. The original one is.
Fair
I think
enough.
I got like 3 copies of it too.
There's a Lord of the Rings Risk that I hear is good
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I've never played that one. I've never played any of the fancy ones.
Okay.
I remember playing once the Star Wars Risk like 20 years ago. That was awesome.
Do you ever play Axis and Allies?
Yes, I played it a few times.
Okay.
It was harder to get people. It was harder to get people in to play that game.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
The game store. It's longer. For sure.
yeah.
For sure.
We would. I'd play Risk.
Hmm.
With the guys who were there at the beginning of the day. Then we'd play like Mage Knight or
Nice.
Battletech or whatever, and then another game of Risk.
Oh, BattleTech. Nice.
Yeah.
I was pissing too damn loud, to be honest. I couldn't hear what you guy was talking about. So now I'm
I called you an asshole right away, and then I said it wouldn't be a problem because I call you that to your face all the time.
Yeah, but that's fair.
I said you're not an asshole and you're a fine young man.
He's lying.
I'm pretty bad. Mage Knight, I think, is better as a single player game, to be honest.
Do you know Mage Knight?
It just like extends the game to have multiple players, right?
Yeah.
'Cause, like, do you really interact a whole lot, or it's just when you hit the same space, right?
No, it's meant to be a one player game.
Yeah.
What are you talking? No, the tabletop game Mage Knight. Not
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There's a good kind of.
Oh, you're talking about the remake board game. I'm talking about the original Click version.
Oh
a
yeah, and I'm
click.
talking about the board game.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm talking about the
Oh,
original.
that's a different one.
It was originally a war game made by. No, it was the original system that used the Click module instead of like
Really?
HeroClick was the third one after the BattleTech port to the system. They're all made by.
Battletech as well.
Yeah, they had the rights to BattleTech for a brief time.
Hero Click was kind of cool, I guess. Say.
Yeah, with the superheroes,
I
the
never got into it.
Marvel.
I did a lot of
they did one with
hero.
the
I think
medieval
it's called
medieval thing, or fantasy thing, I guess.
Yeah, that was Mage Knight.
Mage Knight.
Oh, that was cool.
Yeah,
Remember
yeah.
that.
I did a lot of Heroscape, I think it's called.
Hero
Yeah,
Escape?
I never played that one.
I don't remember that one.
Building
like-
a lot of like scenery.
Yeah, you build the it's like
yeah,
Legos, and it's all like a hex grid.
Yeah, the hex tiles with the
Yeah,
the
hex
grass and the
tiles.
water and
You played
the,
the
and
shit out of that
they
game.
connect together and they stack.
Yeah.
Hammered.
Cool.
I didn't know there was a game for that. I've only ever seen it use as terrain.
No, man, I wish I
Well,
know there's a game
like,
and it
We had like
looked pretty
a
cool, to be
shitload of
honest.
starter sets, and we'd have these like
Yep.
big things, and you'd have like 6 players. You making
Yeah,
these
and then
like
you have, like,
alliances and
Characters
establishing
with their stat and shit like that.
Yeah, we each kind of had our own
The
preferred
sad
thing. There's like a
the-
meta going on.
the sad
pretty cool.
thing about that, from what I hear, is the plastic they used is like crap. So if you try buying them now, they just crumble.
Already.
They're all old stock, right?
But now you can like a 3D print
Oh, I see.
Hero Clicks terrain
Yeah.
if you got a
Ooh,
3D printer.
Yeah, 3D print the terrain.
Yeah, but don't you need to find the files too? Like,
They're all like easily findable.
Yeah, and then you just paint
Little
them.
Really?
block of hex.
like people go out of the way to like, here's this old board game that you can print your mini
Yes,
for.
oh, yeah, yeah,
yes,
It's got a pretty
yes.
big
Oh.
following.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, there's a bigger fan base for this game, but also like this game,
Oh,
like
okay.
when you get into that, like you have to have like a fucking rooms dedicated to it.
Yeah. 'cause
Oh,
know,
Yeah,
okay.
because the
Skins
tiles
and
are like this big.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I'm
they're
getting
like-
Warhammer vibes.
Yeah,
that's
and it's like,
that it's up to
oh,
you.
let's spend an hour
Space.
building the terrain before playing, and then an hour tearing it down after playing, right? Just like
Mm,
Yes.
Yeah.
No one wants to do that.
Absolutely.
So it was like, early mid 20s. So we had shitty apartments, and they had an extra bedroom, and it was the Heroscape room. It's
already.
badass.
Wow.
I know.
Nice.
I wanted to
Yeah.
turn my spare bedroom into a smoker, but I had to let my nephew move in.
Oh yeah, let your nephew move in.
How old's your nephew?
No, I did let my nephew move in.
How old is he again?
He's like 22.
That's Felix, right?
No, it's not Felix.
Alex.
Yeah, Alex.
Is he 20, you said?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, man, that's a fucking
20,
adult,
22.
right? Just like, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to say that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Look, we'll go very dark.
The fuck are you thinking? What are you even thinking, man?
I don't know. He's a weirdo. I'm just I'm assuming it's something crazy.
Yeah, 20-year-old man, like they're not in the rape age anymore.
What?
They're dark enough.
What?
They're not in the rape age.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
It's a-
Men grow out of it.
You can
They're
rape
not
20-year-old
boy anymore than men, right?
Oh, so you're saying you wouldn't? Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't.
Is
I
your
wouldn't
pig
rape
in-
a 20-year-old man.
What the fuck are you? Put the alcohol down, you weird fucking tard.
You
Put
really-
a lock on that mouth.
Put on the warning.
Bring that warning with the great color scheme back
Bring
up.
it back.
There you go.
Yes.
This was a joke, people.
Bad one.
I'm not yet sure if it's thought provoking. It's just provoking.
Wait a second, you're joking that you wouldn't?
Yeah,
rape?
you need to scribble out that thought. And just pull out the paint. It's just like the cheesy spray can and go over it.
All right. It's a drunk joke, right? About
Ah, hey, we're having fun.
Okay,
Having
Sargon.
fun.
Hey.
Okay.
I'm not into boy either. if he wasn't.
Yeah. Now he says it.
Yeah.
Doth protest too much.
Okay, like first of all, I'm not gay. Oh yeah, also I'm not a rapist.
Yeah. I think it's like 15 minutes
First of
later he
all,
says
I
he's
want
not
to
gay.
clear.
Oh.
Hello, my name is Sonolar. I'm not a rapist. How are you?
Yeah.
Hello, my
Why
name
did
is
you-
Justin, and I can't make such claims at this time.
Well, you know now, like they make the this thing they make the accusations so blurry, right?
Yes.
He says while taking another drink.
What does it mean anymore, really? In this world of black and white that's all been destroyed, now everything
Yeah.
is shade of gray.
We are
right?
all role playing right now. I am pretending to be the GM. They are all pretending to be psycho pervs.
Oh, I'm a chaste individual, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah, and Phil's bald.
Yeah,
That's true.
That's his
True.
perversion.
I got a little up here.
Lies.
I can feel him. I can feel him.
Okay, Homer.
I can't
Nice.
see him.
I'm hoping to keep my hairline. My brother got it much worse than me.
put it in your name title. What, like not a rapist? Not currently a rapist.
Not currently raping.
Not
I-
currently.
I
You can
prefer
tell.
I prefer
I feel,
the.
I feel
4D
awkward
part
now,
of
but
my
I think I'm
name.
gonna take off, guys.
What you put up?
No, absolutely. Run
like
for
I-
the hills.
I feel like it makes it seem like it's a response to the change in topic, but it's just late.
Yeah, it's just late, but yeah, maybe
Yeah.
we should wrap it up. To be honest,
So
unless
y'all
like
have a good evening. I'm gonna.
I did not change this topic. I was talking about
Have a good
this.
evening,
what are
Phil.
we talking? How did we
Take
come
care,
to this
Z.
topic? What are we
Take care,
talking-
Party
Mo.
on,
Take care.
Phil.
Uh,
Party on.
You're leaving now? Oh man, you just fucking left. You just fucking left. What the fuck is that?
You said
Yeah,
like,
you
bye for
didn't
10
respond
minutes.
to him saying that he's saying goodbye.
Yeah, because I was trying. I say, oh, you feel it's too bit to live. Maybe we should just fucking wrap it up because I'm drunk and I'm getting inappropriate, I guess.
It's all right.
You need to run it in a bit.
Also, I think we are kind of run out of topics, unless you want to talk about something else.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to say I played 4D and it was great. Wasn't much,
Yeah.
and there were no roles, so I was hoping to get a role in there, but a new player who we didn't have time to show him Numenera,
Alright.
how the game is played, so
Yeah.
we leave that for the next session.
Tell me about Numenera. Like Numenera,
Yeah.
Numenera. Like
Numenera?
That's the kind of setting I fucking hate, to be honest. This like,
Yeah.
it's the future, but thing went back to medieval time, and now like people see like technology as magic. I fucking hate that.
I think that was the hardest part because we're like 9 civilizations in the future where of all different kinds of empires risen and fallen, even aliens. But we don't know any of that stuff. To us, it's just medieval times with science stuff that we think is magic.
Yeah.
But
Just make it
my
medieval time with
character-
magic. I don't fucking care about you. Like, whoa, you think it's magic, but it's really technology. Like, I don't
If it's a
fucking care.
mystery and the players don't know it and they get hints along the way, maybe like
it's a setting, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a
Right.
way to play fantasy that adds a different different twist to it. Like, we know there are weird robots and mechanics that we don't understand. It's just
Yeah.
how much do you know? That's the mystery,
Yeah.
I've seen it in books a few times where like it's not ever presently in your face, but every now and
Yeah.
then it like something will happen and oh, this is like an elevator. Right?
Yeah.
So it's not as disturbing when you're not thinking about it, but I could see if it's in like a rule book and it's just shoved down your throat.
It's hard to 4D roleplay because me and Nick had the problem of we are in the setting, but Rick wants to give us free reign on how we imagine things because nothing is bolted down. So anything we say during our anchoring becomes canon, so to say.
Yeah.
So
Did
I
you like
was
that?
trying. Yeah, I liked it a lot, but it was hard because you know, like, well, where is the boundary? Like, what is magic? What is mechanical? What is real? Because like rubber ducks don't exist. That was like so many thousand years ago. You know, do we have the wheel? I guess we do have the wheel. Medieval villages had the wheel.
Yeah, of course.
And also, I'm playing a Wright, which is the mechanic type character, the engineer. So I'm the guy who's breaking all the conventional rules by building Numenera artifacts, so like rebuilding them, like who has the power to do so. So I'm playing this off, like I imagine it like an artificer, basically.
Yeah.
You know, resurrecting old technology to lift up what remains.
Because that it's kind of new for you to be like this 40 style, right? You're just like the new convert, I guess. Like staying in character all the time, making up stuff up as you go, and I mean, sticking the wall.
Rick was hinting at me joining the thing a couple of streams back. Do you think I should try
What?
and 4D something?
You want to join us?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know.
Maybe you like it.
Maybe.
Like you.
I do push for a lot more immersive role playing in the game with Shadow.
Yes,
so.
but also like when you join session, you always like want to be like the jokey guy. Like, what if you put the joking aside and just try to be immersed, right?
I don't joke that much in the session with Shadow, so
Not everything has to be about cake, Justin.
no, that's how my character deals with stress. I'm slowly making my character obese.
Yeah.
That's you know, that's a character moment.
Yeah.
There you go. Nicolas said it, the setting made it a bit challenging to 4D for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. No.
Yeah, I could see that. Because the setting kind of feel defined in a way. So like, yeah, you wonder yourself like, well, how far can I go, right? But I often say, like,
on a side note, don't fucking badmouth cake.
cake is bad for you. You don't need cakes to live.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah,
they've got all the essential things a growing boy needs. It says
no,
so
you
right
just
in my
need meat
imagination.
and vegetable. Meat
My
and vegetable.
imagination
That's all you
doesn't say
need.
that.
But
Ring of Fire.
Have you, Justin? Have you ever done a 4D like a training session?
No, I haven't applied for it.
I recommend it. I mean, you know, you don't need like an official application. Like I can do it with you, but
Well-
yeah, if you do it with Rick, you know what you're getting into, right?
yeah,
I know what I'm getting into.
because that's the thing. Like people like you know, there's a skill to be learned, right? It's not so easy to.
I get that.
Yeah,
and yeah, it definitely, like for me, every session I've done, like between the training session with Rick, training sessions with my German friend, like just recording it and looking back at it, every time I'm learning something new and like something I want to focus on for the next session.
Yeah.
This time my focus was on, I want to anchor myself every time, because the last time it slipped my mind completely to say where I am. I just, you know, talked as my character, but didn't position myself in the world.
Who's that addressed to? I've seen you winning the Ring of Fire dwarf thing. You played that to AT. Who played within the Ring of Fire?
I don't know that. Ring of Fire dwarf thing. No, doesn't ring a bell.
The only Ring of Fire I know is the alternate history series.
I know within the Ring of Fire by Woodward.
Okay, so there's a game called
your Ferrum guy.
Yeah, it's a game. It's a game called that. I would pick it up, but what is it, Justin? I don't think it was, because you seem to be confused. Winning the Ring of Fire. I know that game not very well because I couldn't go fucking through the book, because the book fucking made me angry.
What was wrong with it?
He changed every fucking term. Like he want to call like PCs
Oh,
catalyst, and you want to
Oh,
call like a NPC or like an Ember, and you want to call it
yeah,
NPC
yeah.
something else, and you want to call like the GM the Flame Tender, and you want to say like, oh, it's not a campaign, it's a saga, and so you read the book and just like, why do you fucking do that? You just like I have to translate every fucking term in my mind every time I read.
I
Yes.
remember
Yeah,
when
I get that.
Black Lodge Games interviewed this guy.
Yeah. Black Lodge Game loved that game, and but Quack
Yeah.
loved that game as well, which or people I respect the opinion in general. Although Black Lodge Game, they told me this game was great. I read it and said like, and also I got upset the way the book is written, right? You know,
Yeah.
in the sense that I couldn't fucking get to the system because it was so like written like
Special
so poorly
snowflake.
written. That's a game that fucking need editing. If I ever seen one, it's this one. They also like say like Ginger Fraser also that the X-File was good and aged well, and I fucking couldn't get through 5 episodes
The first season was really bad.
already.
But it is a very creature of the week. I keep meaning to
I've-
watch. What's that one by the guy that did the Dune movie, the TV show?
David Lynch,
David Lynch. What was that show called again?
Twin Peak.
Twin Peaks. I keep
Twin
meaning to
Peaks
watch
is very
that.
good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and aged well. I don't know if
I
would
don't
say
watch. I don't watch TV shows. I replace all TV shows with anime, like for the last 20 years. So I don't know any of them.
we.
And now I don't even watch anime anymore because I know all of the tropes, and every time they show up, I just hate it.
You say like
Because they
the
have
book
no
was
or-
written, is written by a schizophrenic. Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, God.
And so like it's hard to read, but the setting's enticing. That's also the thing. Like the setting, like it just like start like with those like the book started with like this fucking like lore dump for like 10 fucking page, and it talk about like cycle and like a bunch of things like it seemed to be like a Zoroastrian setting for some reason. So you just read it and it's like it talk about all those people. It's like who the fuck is that? Like why do I fucking care about that? Right? Just like give me no reason for it. Like I don't know. I found like very like I found it very not appealing, very lore dumpy, which I don't.
Yeah.
I found all the reasons to play a role playing game is for the setting. That's why I pick the role playing games I play.
No,
If I'm not
pick a
interested in
role-playing
the
game for
setting, why do
rules,
I play?
for the system?
No.
Sure.
I hate to tell you this, Mr. Max. Most people buy for setting.
Nah, most people buy for hype and art.
Yeah, this is true. But
It's the
after
art
that,
for sure.
It's setting. After that, it's setting, and then people barely engage with the rules.
Make your own fucking setting. Most settings
Yeah,
are
well, most people buy the game for the setting, then they do that.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
because they realize the setting sucks. It's written by a guy who doesn't know how to write, you know?
most settings sucks,
or-
most rules sucks as well. So here
The-
we are.
The,
I mean,
the most important.
Go ahead.
The most important thing your book needs is good art.
Yes.
And a good name, a cool name.
Yeah. So you need to find 5 words that sound kind of good together, and to have decent art.
Burning Wheel.
Yeah, 2 to 5. Yeah,
Dungeon
exactly.
World.
Burning Wheel is a fucking great name. Burning Wheel is a fucking great name. Like,
Pathfinder is a good name too.
Pathfinder, like Burning Wheel, like it's like, what is that wheel? Why is it burning? Right? It
Right.
raises a lot of question. It's very intriguing. You want to
Is it
Yeah.
literally a wagon wheel, or is it metaphor for something
It's
else?
metaphor.
That's the picture.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
picture.
But also like the book is beautiful. It's a beautiful book. I gotta say that.
And
Yeah.
Very well put together.
That's another thing. Is like
Yeah.
put your book together well. Like
Yeah.
you
Also,
can have it.
I will
Yes,
to
go.
to run a game. I will open your rule book and look for the pictures, and your pictures should show me the scenes that I'm describing in the game. If they don't show up, like if I see the pictures but I cannot use your rules to play in that scene, what the fuck, man?
Well, that's why when you guys were when the 4 panelists were talking earlier, someone said something about being able to describe describe what you're talking about, and I said, or
Yeah,
like
Chris?
you're well, no,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
before, it was just before that, just before the visualization thing, about not having a lore dump sent
Yeah,
to you. And I was like, yeah, if you can't describe your setting in 5 memes or less,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the one that like
Right.
I fucking hate
Yeah.
lore dump, right?
yeah,
Just like
Yeah.
if I need to fucking learn all this lore to play your
Yeah.
game, right? Just like it doesn't matter. It's not interesting, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that like, oh, in the year 10,000 after this event, like this happens. Like I don't fucking care. Is it
But
relevant in my day-to-day life? No, then like who the fuck care?
but
Are
if
you gonna refer to it in the game?
yeah, if you showed like a picture of 1920s New York, and then like an elf, and then like, oh, I don't know, an angry mob, and said, "This is basically what's happening in the world right now." You should be
So
able
we're
to figure out.
1920s New York with elves and angry mob.
Yeah, you should be able to figure out what the world's about with like those images.
Yeah,
You know, the rest of it you can fill in with what the fuck you're making up at the table.
yeah, yeah. And like I always say, the setting
And
is a starting
and
point.
obviously that's just
Once
an
you
off the
start,
head.
the setting is good until session 1.
Mm.
Then
Yeah.
that was a starting point. Then go with whatever like come up in the set in play, right? Just like don't be married to it.
Yeah, because it's going to be put against the test of observation, and like
Yeah.
anything you pull out of whole cloth, there are going to be holes in it that you didn't see because you're the one that created it.
Yeah, the players will be like, okay, I'm role playing here, like I'm a character here now, so I want these questions answered. Then they go through the routine of what they do, and then they realize, oh yeah, we should have like a lord here around somewhere, right? Like, where's the local knight? And I didn't think of a knight that's here, so I gotta come up with a knight. And like, what's the knight's order? And what's the order of the city? Are they part of like a kingdom, or is it like a localized
Free
region?
port.
And it's all of
And-
those. They weren't
You-
relevant before, but now I can think on it a little bit and develop the world, give
Well,
it more.
Also, you can just like make something up on the spot because you don't need the
Yeah.
best answer. Because also, you know what?
Yeah, yeah.
The fucking real world is messy, and people make up
Yeah.
like people think like people that make up like the rules in real world, they're not very smart people. They make like those fucking stupid system that like make no sense when you think about them. But
It's not even that. It's like, I know the city of Calgary exists, but who the fuck's the mayor of that city? Who's the police chief? Who what the fuck is the predominant religion? I don't know. I don't really care either. You know, like if I go there, I still won't know nor care the answer of any of those questions without looking it up.
yeah.
And your players, unless they ask those questions,
Can I
don't
tell you the
need
name
the
of the,
answers to them.
Can I tell you the name of any of those people in the city I lived in?
Yeah.
I've
Well.
been living here for 6 months. No, I'm still new, right? I don't
But
fucking
still.
care. What does it matter? Why would I fucking care
Yeah.
about that?
Who's the
Didn't
name
care.
of the barkeep? It's barkeep.
Yeah,
Until
I know, like
he's
the
important, until he's important enough to you to ask for his name. At
I
which
know
point
that
I will look at
our,
my list and give him
Yeah.
one.
I know that our
Yeah.
MPs that our MP is fat chicks with short hair, and she's a liberal. So what do I need to know more?
Where's the strap-on camera and the care of bear mace?
No, but you know what I mean. It's just like I know enough.
We need to
Yeah,
sit
to
there
judge her and put.
I know that like exactly. I know that she's not a lie, right?
You see a purple-haired woman walk on the streets. What do?
Yeah.
I changed the direction.
No, I spit at her feet.
I pull out a chainsaw.
I say, hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
No.
Say, you want to hate fuck?
I say, what are you doing here, whale? And she's like a fucking toothpick.
We're off the beach.
How fat is she?
It doesn't matter. She could be a toothpick. She's still a whale with purple hair.
You're not allowed to ask the GM questions, so you can make it up on the spot on your
Exactly.
reaction.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
I take out my tuba. And I start doing boom, boom, boom,
I was going to say that in chat earlier, but my internet went out for a minute. Right after I narrated Phil's thing, you said something about narrating. Somebody said what happened if I narrated or something, and I said I was starting to type in MrMax is learning an instrument just to narrate my life, but my internet went down for a minute. So
That's what I'm doing. We all need a hobby, right?
Oh.
Can I not fucking make a sound buzz when I join? Yeah, I can. So
Nice.
Yeah, it was the
Nice.
angle you were holding it last time.
what?
It was the angle you're holding it. You're
Yeah.
practically blocking the hole.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't try really, right?
Yeah. I already feel like a fat man. Oh wait, I already felt that way.
All right. I think I'm gonna wrap that stream now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
midnight here, and I'm putting alcohol in the mouthpiece. That's probably gonna make it cleaner. I need to wash it once in a while. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I'm probably gonna wrap the stream now. Unless you want anything else you want to
Yeah,
talk
sounds
about.
good.
Yeah. No.
It's been 3 hours, right?
Well, not for
Whatever.
me, damn you.
Well,
I'm
it
just
is what
being
it
I'm being a dick.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe in the next week or two, I'll talk to Rick. I'll try that session out.
Yeah, man. Just like stop being a fucking dick, man. Stop being just like trying to be the goofball of it all, right? Just like you got like you get like some smart thing to contribute to the world, Justin. Just stop trying to be like just the clown all the time.
I'm not just a clown all the time. I'm a clown all the time.
You're a clown all the time.
Yeah, but I don't do that in role playing too much.
But show the world what you can offer.
Don't want
Show the world that you have something more than offer than just fucking bad jokes that don't land.
Oh.
Bam!
Are you saying I have jokes that sometimes land? Because that will offend me.
No, it's you need to work on your timing a bit.
No.
You know, there's a thing like I like if people like see me in chat sometime, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm often like I make jokes in chat a lot. I'm a big troll in chat and stuff like that. I can make a joke in written form. It's very hard for me, and I'm very serious in stream because it's very hard for me to make a joke when I speak in English because of my bad accent. Then the timing's fucked up, and then I messed up a word, and like so, I'm more serious in English than I am like when I speak than when I write. Because when I write, I can write a joke.
That makes sense.
You
Yeah,
can edit
speaking
it.
is hard for me. That's why I'm
I
more
refuse to edit.
serious.
I blame it on mistyping.
I don't edit it as well, but but just like
That's
I don't
a
know,
lie.
like what?
That's a lie.
I don't edit when I do video.
No, you're writing.
My writing, I'm a pretty
Yeah.
good writer. I can write pretty well in English.
Also, I recommend like if you do 4D, like change hats. Like have 30 minutes. You role play as the character, and there's another character who's a DM while you do the stuff with. Then you take 15-minute break, talk a bit, and then you DM for him. You keep the scene going. Like next scene.
Like this 80s style montage when you try different hat and then so
Yeah.
I was thinking that too.
I mean, yes, it can be an 80s montage. But
I would tell you
I-
what the I'll tell you what the closest hat I have to me is right now, but it would violate Rule 3.
And also, it might get Zonalar, being in Germany, into trouble. You know what Rule
I don't
3
care.
is? Like, you read the rule?
Rule 3 is no trash talking people who are not present. So yeah.
No.
No.
Rule 3 is don't talk about World War II, isn't
Yeah.
it?
That's Rule 2.
That's like.
Okay,
No
Rule
trash
2.
talking
What's
is
Oh
Rule
yeah,
2?
you're right.
It's Rule 4. No talk of World War 2.
Yeah.
It's Rule 4.
Okay.
No debate but dialectic.
No,
That's
Rule
Rule
4 he meant. Like, you're both fucking wrong.
Yeah.
What are the rules? The relevant rule.
Irrelevant rules. So no talk about, like,
The rule that was created for me.
We keep breaking it. I don't know. Like
I do deliberately.
I tread the line about my joke about Big Ben.
And I replied, "Stop breaking Rule 3."
Yeah.
Because I thought it was Rule 3.
Are you lost, Zed? You don't know what. All right, I'm gonna end the stream now. Don't leave, guy. I'm gonna tell you about. I'm gonna cue you in, Zed.
Should I pull it off the shelf?
The Justin.
no worries.
Exactly. Yeah. Take care, guys. Have a good night. I'll see you next week.
Party on.
Well, Monday. We're gonna do the next session of the Secret of the Rising Sun campaign, which I'm pretty excited about. So don't miss out. I think it's a very fun one. And what else? I'm probably gonna I've been putting some video during the week, shorter form video, when I try to bring the idea that we came up with during those longer stream when I'm drunk, and try to make them into a sober form and shorter format, so they're more shareable. So fucking share them. So and that's it. Justin, shill your shit.
I'm at this channel right here, noon Wednesdays and Fridays, and I have another channel called Bone Spears and Starships, which has AI stories written on it.
Yeah. Zonalar, you got your own channel as well.
Yeah, I got the YouTube going on where I post some of the 4D stuff. What is 4D and like my journey with 4D right now. I got also all the old games that nobody should ever watch because they are just like any other role-playing sessions on the internet.
Well, when you're gonna have more 4D gaming out, it's gonna be an interesting way to compare. It's gonna be an interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will have episode 1 up in a couple of days. I want to sync it up with Rick's plan if he wanted to upload a Monday or what he wanted to do. But I got the thumbs up, so you will see it in a couple of days.
Yeah, I would encourage you to do look back on them as well. Like, those are very fun and very useful. Yeah, and if you want to have us join some plan, like when we can look at it together and say like, oh, what went well, ask around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for everybody that joined us on the panel. So those guys, Justin, Zonalar, and also like Phil, Crispy, and Shauner. And thank you for everybody that joined us live in chat. And thank you for everybody that's gonna watch on the replay. And have a good night. And I'll see you next week. Oh, I'm losing.